With over $1 billion in claims paid, we don't just promise protection, we deliver it. Don't let a breakdown break your budget. Get the flexible month-to-month coverage you deserve. Go to carshield.com. That's carshield.com today.
A multi-billion-dollar settlement is paying claims for up to 21 years. If you were exposed to weed killers at work or at home, your rights are affected. If you or your family has or had non-Hodgkin lymphoma, you could receive $6,000 to $165,000 or more. This settlement impacts you even if you're not sick, because this blood cancer can take 10 to 15 years to appear. If you stay in the settlement, you give up your right to sue. Learn more at weedkillerclass.com or call 888-403-8201. Paid for by the Roundup Settlement.
You ever notice how the other guys scream about massive discounts on their Dodge, Chrysler, or Jeep Ram vehicles? Then you get to the fine print and boom, another $5,200 in mandatory ads. At Hoblet, we don't insult your intelligence. The price you see is the price you pay. No mystery add-ons, no bait and switch, no gotcha when you sit down to buy. Hoblet, family owned for 77 years. Transparency, straightforward pricing. Buy it right, buy it at Hoblet.
Only one radio program captures the excitement of hunting and fishing as it happens. The award-winning California Sportsman with Sepp Hendrickson. Only California Sportsman takes you where the action is. Live on the water, live in the blind, and live with the top pros and experts in outdoor sports. California Sportsman with Fishing Hall of Famer Sepp Hendrickson is your premier destination for all things outdoors. Sepp's Saturday Morning Outdoors. Ultimate Bass and California Sportsman, 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Saturdays on Sactown Sports 1140.
Did you try my Colombian tamales? They're delicious.
Yes, but the Mexican tamales I brought are better.
Colombian tamales wrapped in plantain leaves are unmatched, you know.
But the Mexican tamales wrapped in corn husks are the authentic ones.
At least we can agree that they taste better with Pepsi.
Without a doubt. Can you pass me a straw?
You mean a pitillo.
Tamales deserve Pepsi.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sactown Sports 1140.
This is the Drive, baby!
The Drive Guys, Kevin Gleason and Alan Stiles. It's drive time with the Drive Guys.
I've never seen anybody so happy to see a season end as Alan Stiles is that the Kings season is over. I get a little sad whenever a season ends. Talk to my wife about when baseball season ends. And so, it's like, I will admit there seems to be a little bit of an optimistic note to the very end of this Kings season, but some of it may be because as you celebrate the fact that it's all done. We're all done with it for the time being. Maybe that's part of it.
You know, Whitey.
But you're sky high.
Oh, it's a brand new day. We did it, everyone. We did it!
He was literally singing Tom Petty during the break.
I'm free falling.
What are you free from?
Free from the shackles of, should we win? Should we lose? Look, the odds are the odds. I know we're going to figure out that coin flip, the virtual coin flip, whatever it is, to understand whether they'll have a 14% chance or 11. I don't care. At least it's done. We don't have to fight with listeners. They should be winning. It's good for them. No, they should be losing. We have to take advantage. Kings can't even take right. We don't have to do it anymore. It's over.
Yeah. Do you think there's anything basketball-wise to feel better about now that it's done? Is there any sense of, they at least have a sense of direction? Maxime really came along this year. Nate Clifford played well. Or maybe, maybe I'm creating that, but do you think there's anything to that?
Definitely.
Hey, you know what? There's you can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Oh, definitely. I mean,
it's a long tunnel, but I see something down there.
Yeah, Maxime is probably the story of the season. Dylan Cardwell is a good story. Precious Achiuwa is a good story, but Maxime, that redraft that Bleacher Report had, they would have taken Maxime 13th overall. That's a lottery pick. That's where Devin Carter went a couple years ago. So to say that you basically found some version of a lottery pick with your 42nd pick in the draft, and I have a list, Whitey. There are actually some random absolutely good 42nd picks of the draft, and I have that list for us. But to have somebody like Maxime Reynaud end up on your squad and see the growth that he's had, I think that is by far the number one thing I can take from this season. I've been very honest about the caution that I have with Nick Clifford. I've been honest about the caution that I have with Dylan Cardwell, with Precious Achiuwa as well. But there's no denying that they have an absolute steal in Maxime Reynaud, and that's probably the number one thing I'm taking into the offseason. No disrespect to the other good stories and young players, but that's by far the number one thing.
Did anything stand out to you about what we've heard today from the Matt George Show and from the Kings when it comes to the exit interviews? I didn't really hear anything surprising. My takeaways before I ask you to answer the question I just threw at you, no surprise, but you had Russ saying, yeah, I wouldn't mind coming back. If I wanted, I wouldn't mind coming back. Domas saying, you guys know I like it here, but I just have to focus on my rehab. Anything that stood out to you today?
Well, from what I saw about Domas, he did say, that I like being here, and I guess could have been less committal than he was. So to me, that stood out a little bit. I think that was an opportunity. He's not really.
Well, he's not a free agent.
So no,
yeah,
he's not.
Yeah.
He's not. Yes, that's very true. So I don't know. I think that he could have been less excited about returning than he was. So I don't know. There wasn't much, right? These guys have kind of been in this mode for months now. But if there were anything outside of what Matt brought up as far as what Zach LaVine said, I'd probably say what Domantas Sabonis said.
Mm-hmm. I also thought it was interesting, Alan, pardon me, but DeMar was asked, how did this year compare to last year? We know what he said about last year. He said this year was harder. And I think he just meant from, as Matt George said, from a basketball standpoint.
Right.
Because expectations, sounds like they had expectations beginning of the year that, we could still do some things here.
I told you. Mm-hmm. Schroeder, EuroLeague MVP.
Yeah.
Westbrook.
Yeah. Well, he wasn't here yet. I'm talking like before the season even started.
Right. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
They were. Whatever happened in that training camp, they must have looked like the '95 Bulls in that training camp, because that's all we heard. Oh, we're getting after it in training camp. Okay. And then they played. They faced another defense, an actual defense from other teams. Mm-hmm. But that's neither here nor there now. We move into the future. And, you ever play, what is it, Marty Supreme, little ping pong action, Whitey? That's the mood that I'm in.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I'm as happy as you are about the season being over, but not because of the Kings, just because of the NBA season. It's been so I'm just glad now. That's all done, we hope. And now we get on to the play-in even. I'm excited about the play-in.
Yes.
And then the games. Can you imagine that? Watching basketball games where both teams are trying to win.
Right.
Like every night.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, hold on. Before you say that, did you see your boy, the chef, on a minutes restriction in their playing game? So some teams aren't necessarily
I was talking
trying
about the
to
playoffs, but I get your point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
You could see Ivan Golden State might say, don't tell anybody this, but we might be better off just bowing out of this thing.
We got to prioritize health. That's the number one thing we have to do. But yeah, you have it was an ugly season, Whitey, for everyone, not just the Kings. It's the first season in NBA history with 8 teams with 55 or more losses.
Yeah.
Not good.
Yeah.
Not good. But now
and that tarnishes every time anybody says, so-and-so had a really good year. Mm-hmm. They won 48 games, whatever. It's like, yeah, but this year,
Right. You almost have to break down how much did you feast on these bad teams. But, hey, Whitey, as the old saying goes, you can only play who's in front of you.
Right.
That's all you can do.
That's true.
That's all you can do.
Yes.
So, yeah, what Zach LaVine said, I know Matt talked about it at length, and we'll get into it as well, but I'm just so dang happy. The sun, it's not raining right now. River Kitties got canceled both days, Saturday and Sunday, so I felt bad. Guys, hold on. Hey, everybody was getting on me. Somebody comes up to me. Shout out our guy, 916 Silva. He comes up to me on Friday, and he goes, man, Alan, puppies, babies, e-bikes. Well, what's your deal, man? I'm like, hold on.
Did you hear Jerry Reynolds when he came on?
No.
He said, I was going to ask Alan about old people. I'm a little worried. I'm scared to ask him.
You're not old. And I love Jerry, come on, don't do that to me. But Sunday, I felt bad. And the irony of it, Sunday, I get to the ballpark after we just had the conversation about the dog. And I love animals. It's these owners. That's the problem.
Okay.
I would never blame anything on an animal. Let me just get that clear.
Okay.
I show up to Sutter Health Park. I get my rundown. It's bark in the park. It's bark in the park. And they say, Alan, we're going to have a play ball. Because normally we have a play ball kid. Alan, we're going to have a play ball dog. There's going to be a peanut butter eating race with 2 dogs. All right, let's go. This is my chance.
Instant karma's going to get you.
Yeah, but it all got rained out. It all got rained out. And we'll get into a little bit later how much of that had to do with the A's that are playing there today, the first place A's. So we're going to talk to Dallas Braden. And that's at 4 p.m. So, Whitey, it was just a heck of a weekend. Anybody with small kids, if you know who Daniel Tiger is, Daniel Tiger was in the building in Natomas at the PBS building. My toddler got to meet Daniel Tiger. Whitey, crazy weekend, crazy rain. The sun is shining now. Saw an HD rainbow when I was driving to Sutter Health Park. And yesterday, it all ended. The season ended.
Yeah.
We can move forward. Hey, Jay, can you feel a brand new day? Can you feel? Come on, Jay, the Wiz, brand new day. Oh, my goodness.
You saved that.
We did it.
Hey, point of order here. You mentioned the River Cats. Typically in baseball, a game is postponed, but these games they're not making them up, right?
I don't know.
Canceled.
I don't know. The Saturday was postponed.
Okay.
They were going to do 2 7s on Sunday, and they couldn't get the field ready. Then they said, we're going to do 1 9.
What did Mrs. Stiles think of Allen being out for a doubleheader?
Not thrilled. Not thrilled. And to be honest, at one point, there was a rumor they were going to play, because we showed up at 9, right? And they said there was a rumor, never came out, I guess technically, but the rumor was they might push the game to 3.
Oh.
I said, I can't text her that. I'm giving it to my manager, you text her.
I just have to hope that doesn't happen.
And it didn't. They ended up canceling it. And I don't know, if they had played at 3 on a wet field, they had the squeegees and the tarp, and then the A's come back to play tomorrow. I saw somebody say, because I said, man, this was an interesting situation. And in my recollection, the first situation where River Cats and A's have kind of clashed a little bit, and somebody responded saying, well, MLB has priority. Well, I know that. But it's still interesting because the River Cats are thinking, well, we have to make up these games.
Yeah.
This is our field.
You have a commitment to the fans that do show up
Right.
and the players.
But they didn't play those games. And I'm this is just my opinion. I do think it probably had something to do with, because why not just wait and do the 3 o'clock and tick off Mrs. Stiles? It's very easy to do that unless somebody said
Nobody wants to do that.
Nobody wants to do that. The dogs, they were already there. There were like 7 dogs. There were a lot of dogs in the rain. I'm thinking, man, these are dedicated people. And it was Toy Story Day. So, Buzz Lightyear and everybody was there. So, my first thought was, man, this is probably has something to do with the A's, in my opinion.
Hanging out with my grandson this morning. My daughter needed some coverage, and I guess he just saw Toy Story. I don't know which one. There's one where Rex gets pushed out the window.
Yes.
He kept asking me today, what happened to Rex? He kept asking me, what happened to Rex? Oh, he's okay.
He's okay.
And he says, Woody pushed him out the window. I said, yeah, but he's okay. He's okay. But he kept asking.
Wow.
I think it was very traumatic for him.
Well, what happened? Well, I'm trying to think what happened in the movie then. Would you turn it off when Rex was in the air?
I didn't see it with him. I haven't seen it in a while, but he just watched it.
Got it. And he rolled up on you like, hey, what happened to Rex?
Yeah, he kept, what happened to Rex? He expects answers,
Yeah.
Yeah.
The why stage is coming, but why?
Yeah.
But why?
Yeah, it's like when I watch sports with my wife. I don't know about you, but typically my wife may not respect my opinion on like 99% of things.
Okay.
Like I don't know anything.
Right.
But when it comes to a sports event on TV, for some reason I'm supposed to know everything. Who's that? Why did they do that? Where's he from? How old is he? I don't know. I'm sorry.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I hear you. Well, speaking of, to go along with the amazing weekend, with the amazing crescendo with the end of the Kings season, my guy Rory goes Drizzy back to
Rory
back.
McIlroy.
Back to back.
Rory made it interesting, though,
He
didn't
did.
he?
That's what he does.
For the lads in Northern Ireland.
Oh, they were
watching on the telly.
They had the, what is it, the Cobra, when what is it from? You know, when you hold your hand out here, you hold your hand behind your head.
I'm sorry, I don't know.
Devastation Cobra, what's it called?
ABS Challenge.
The ABS Challenge, something like that. So, man, what a weekend, Whitey.
Mm-hmm.
And now we wait.
The cool thing about the golf, I was thinking that as I was watching with Sheena, and we enjoyed it, but she's not a huge golf fan, but something like that, the Masters, we're glued to it.
Yes.
And it's not necessarily the sport so much as what's at stake.
Right.
And again, I think that speaks to some of the problems the NBA at least had. When there's a sporting event, when everybody wants to win desperately, that's really compelling.
Yeah.
If it's golf or, sometimes hockey, if it's U.S., Canada, people that aren't really hockey fans, I got to see this, because just you have two people or two teams competing desperately, it's really fascinating.
It sounds like this NBA season, from a tanking perspective, not just the Kings, but it sounds like this NBA season really did a number on you.
Yeah.
Because it feels like you really are just appreciative of teams actually trying.
I think it did. I think that's a good way to put it. Last night we had the Spurs. Of course, the Kings were on, but before that, what do I want to watch? I think the Spurs are playing the Nuggets. I got to watch the Guardians and the Braves.
Right.
I just want to watch baseball.
Right.
Yeah.
Because
I'm not usually like that, Alan.
Well, I mean, again, you have.
By the way, do have Peacock Premium.
You do?
Jay. Yes, I knew we had it. They just wouldn't honor it for some reason, and now we're good.
You had to get on the phone?
No, we just had to go online and activate it. But for some reason, we weren't able to do that. So, I was watching Sunday Night Baseball on Peacock.
You finally got it figured out.
Yeah, with Bob Costas.
Well, and then I guess I saw a bunch of people, they were not happy with the NBC presentation. I kept reading, they're going to need another host or something like that.
Oh, yeah, I think they have, and I was kind of just, bouncing around. But they have team analysts as the analysts for the game. And what you read, I read that too. Somebody saying, look, you need your own dedicated NBC Sunday Night Baseball analyst rather than rely on the analysts from the teams.
Right.
Get your guy or woman or whoever it is, but get them. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Speaking of local versus national, what did you think of what Mike Breen had to say?
I understand it. Obviously from kind of our perspective and being in the local markets, it's almost as if you make your way throughout the whole season and they say, tell them what they won, Johnny. And what they won is losing the ability to spend that, I guess, situation with the fans that want to hear their own broadcast.
Yeah, it's interesting coming from him because obviously he's going to be doing a lot of the national games.
Yeah.
Mike Breen, for those who don't know, who does the Knicks, he said it's terrible. Now with the new TV package the NBA has, there will be no local broadcasts of any of the playoff games. Mm-hmm. Before it was, the early rounds you get your local crew. And he said, that's terrible. That's a bad decision.
Yeah.
Fans relate to their crew and they enjoy watching the game with their crew. And now as far as the NBA is concerned, you can't do that anymore.
Right.
Bless you, Mike Breen. He said that was a really bad decision.
You think anybody, he's kind of untouchable. And that's the thing, right? When you're nobody's untouchable. Let me make that clear. But when you're in a position like him, you can say something like that and feel pretty safe, right? Does anybody say, hey, let's chill out with that?
I think, and he's probably, established enough and he's done it long enough where if there was any blowback, he'd probably be like, okay, fine, see ya.
Yeah, right. Again, you can do that when, it's all about leverage.
Mm-hmm.
Certain people wouldn't be able to talk like that.
Right.
So I appreciate Mike Breen understanding, hey, I've built what I built. I built this brand and
built this city on rock and roll.
Yeah, that's right. And I want to say what I want to say.
Mm-hmm. What did you think of the Doug Christie quote unquote news?
I got into it. I don't know if you saw, but I was deep in Twitter arguments last night.
Were you really?
I was real deep.
I will admit, sometimes I try to avoid those things, but
I've been good for a long time, but
Yeah.
I was in such a good mood. I decided to go at a bunch of people. I went at Sam Quinn, CBS Sports.
I did see that.
I went at a lot of people last night.
Yes.
Because
I was with you on the Sam Quinn thing.
Because this is what it is, right? This is I'm just done with LHF media. Okay, that's what I'm calling them.
Mm-hmm.
Low-hanging fruit media.
Mm-hmm.
LHF media, you just grab whatever has been the storyline for the last season or so, you don't really go through a bunch of research and you just say whatever is the typical lazy thing to say. And I'm saying low-hanging fruit because I don't want to say the word lazy because I don't want to call anybody lazy. But the low-hanging fruit media that were all upset about or wanting to make fun of the Kings for bringing Doug Christie back, right? But then they also say, and now all of a sudden, Whitey, because somebody went to him and said, hey, well, everybody says that you have to tank. Not to say that Doug is the tank commander, but everybody says you have to tank. Why would you bring in a new coach if you don't necessarily plan on competing next season? Now, all of a sudden, everybody is deathly afraid. When it comes to the Kings, now everybody is deathly afraid of these Adam Silver rules. We've had a lot of people on this station, and most of them don't feel like the rules are going to be crazy, right?
You're talking about the lottery reform.
The lottery reform.
Yeah.
The one that is taking shape right now, the one that is taking shape and it feels like it has a bit of momentum is if you are actually in the middle, you get slightly better odds than if you are the three worst teams. That's the one that has a lot of momentum. Even still, that's not competing. So my issue with what they, how they went about it is Sam Quinn was bringing up Mike Brown still. And, locally, there were people, I won't name names, there were people that really rode for Mike Brown. And locally, they said, fans and others said, hey, let's move on. We got to move on from Mike Brown. It is what it is. We have Doug now, right? And people said, hey, I don't think what they did was right. So there's that part of it. Then when national media, a year later, we've moved on, right? When national media is still talking about the same stuff we were talking about, I saw Kings fans responding to what I said. I said, long story short, doesn't matter what the Kings do, people are going to find a way to make it a negative. And I had people coming at me, Kings fans, no, you Homer media, you guys don't want anybody to say anything negative. We were the same ones you were upset at for riding for Mike Brown for too long. But then when national media gives you any sort of attention, you run to, jump on their side. So those were a lot of the arguments that I had last night, and I get it. There's not really a lot of positives to take from this season outside of what we talked about, Maxime Renaud and others. But the bottom line is this. If the Kings had moved on from Doug Christie today, you know what people like Sam Quinn would have said? The number one thing that he would have said on CBS or wherever the heck he's doing his thing, the number one thing he would have said is, I wouldn't take that job. I would not take that job. That's the one NBA job nobody should take. So nobody should take the job, but the Kings are still dumb for keeping Doug Christie.
Yes. Here's what I really disagreed with when it came to what he posted. He said, Kings just hired a guy who made such an egregious judgment error last week that everyone assumed he was tanking. He made a mistake. Coach Christie made a mistake, coaching mistake. But it wasn't the only explanation for what he did. It wasn't so egregious that, well, you can't blame anyone for thinking he was tanking. People assumed he was tanking because they shut their brains off.
Yes.
And they were looking for something to talk about.
Right.
That's the truth.
Yes.
Yeah. I'll say this for Coach Christie. You and I both said we would bring him back. I'm glad he's back. But maybe more is to come. I would like to hear at some point from the organization that, you know what, we think he did a pretty good job. It's always, and I know this is all through back channel so far, it's always, well, they had a lot of injuries, so we couldn't really judge him. We couldn't really evaluate him. There's never anything positive.
Okay, but
from Scott Perry and the team.
Right, but do you want to hear that from the standpoint of bringing up my mom again, right? Do you want to hear that from the standpoint of, hey, Alan, I want you to want to do the dishes versus I just want them to do it do you want them to do it so you can believe it, or do you want them to do it so nationally Doug can be viewed in a bit of a different light? Because what if they don't? What if what you just said is how they feel?
Well, at the very least, you could show, I think they're doing him a disservice. At the very least, even if you have decided already, and he's not going to be around next year, give him enough credit and respect to say, he handled a really difficult situation this year well. Maybe they still will. But I haven't heard that at all. Even you go back to when the last time Scott Perry spoke publicly and addressed it, and he was like, we're still evaluating him. Okay. I mean, you're keeping him around. You hired him.
Yeah.
Doesn't he deserve a little credit? I know the players have given him a lot of credit.
I think they
I would like to see that.
Yeah, and that's tomorrow, right? According to G-Man, I believe. That's what Matt said, or somebody said that.
I think that's coach talks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We don't know about Scott Perry.
Right.
Okay.
I'm not sure, but that's my understanding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It will be
and
something
he can't
like,
very well say, hey, I did a great job.
Right.
I'd like to hear somebody from the organization.
Yeah. And we've heard Doug a lot lately because he does the post-game pressers. It was almost funny, Whitey. It's like Scott Perry earlier when he was talking about Doug, at one point he said, well, Doug is a first-year head coach.
Right. Exactly.
And then in the exit, Doug will be a second-year head coach.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, we understand that.
Right.
But is there anything else?
Yeah.
But I'm wondering, do you want to believe that or do you just want to hear it? Because I'm telling you, what you just said might be how they actually feel.
I understand that, but I think it's disrespectful to just kind of keep the guy at arm's length. He is your coach. He didn't hire himself.
Right. So
Give him a little bit of support.
Right. So you're saying you don't.
We all know the situation. There's an option next year.
Right. So you're saying you don't necessarily need to believe it yourself, Whitey Gleason. You just think that he deserves for them to say it.
Yes.
Okay.
I think anybody does.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was
just
just
a little
sure.
more respect rather than, we couldn't really evaluate him.
What if they just say, well, he's under contract, so.
Well, that's kind of what they're saying.
We don't want to pay another coach. What if they said that?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're not. I mean, I have faith, Whitey. I think that Scott Perry, who cooked up another Monday motivation today.
Oh, I forgot to check that.
Yeah, he cooked up another one. So I do think that he will say, Doug was given a tough hand and we weren't healthy and he's under contract.
Why does that bother you so much?
Which part?
When
it doesn't bother
with
me.
The King says,
it doesn't. Oh, no.
It doesn't bother you?
Because this is all part of the hybrid rebuild. It's all part of it, Whitey. Now, I was thinking about this on one of my drives this weekend. There's almost it's almost a combination.
You did a lot of
now.
driving, didn't you?
I did a lot of driving. I know back and forth to Sutter Health Park from Natomas like the back of my hand.
Sounds like you were out there pretty much all day yesterday for nothing.
Not all day.
I saw your first. I think you texted me and Jay, and I was like, I just got up. I was like, oh my goodness, he's out there already looking at the tarp.
They had me on the tarp. They had me on the tarp, Whitey. I hadn't been on the tarp in years. But the reason that I keep harping on the fact that they're bringing up the health is because, to me, we have a new branch growing here, Whitey, because the hybrid rebuild, we have to discuss if the hybrid rebuild is the same as running it back. Because that's what I was thinking about in one of my drives. Because I thought,
it? I mean,
I think
you
it
invented
is.
the term.
I think it is, because the hybrid rebuild would be, hey, you're just adding a top 10 pick.
And both are
this.
bad ideas, and I wish you would stop talking about it.
I'm not talking about it. They're the ones saying.
You just brought it up.
Hey, look, all I know is this. Vegas had their win total at 36.5, okay? That would not have been good enough for the play-in. So Vegas thinks before they were healthy, and that's after they added Westbrook because I checked. So even Vegas doesn't know everything. I'm sure the Suns blew theirs out of the water. But the idea that if they were healthy, maybe they'd be more competitive, I'm not subscribing to that. But it doesn't matter. All that matters, what they're subscribing to. And they're the ones saying it, Whitey. They weren't healthy. We never saw Domas and Keegan together. The combination, Whitey. The combination. We got to see it once
Zach
next
LaVine,
season.
talent-wise, you could put us up against any team.
Oh,
Dancer the Young did not appreciate that today.
Oh, my goodness. Well, we would never know. He's right. Russ wants to come back. DeMar, who knows?
If you could quantify talent as a number, the Kings' number would be decent. If you said this guy is a 7, this guy's a 6, just in terms of talent,
right?
Without regard for positions,
okay.
I think it would be respectable. But the thing is, that doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter.
That's the thing, and I think Zach knows that. But he can say that talent-wise, we're up there, yeah. But it's not about that ultimately.
It's not,
yeah.
And he knows that.
Yeah, I
but
think
it sounds
so.
good to say.
Yeah,
or doesn't sound.
It's a
good
nicer
to say.
thing to say than we had no chance this year.
Yeah,
this team's terrible.
I mean, it's a lose-lose, right, in this situation.
More on that when we come back. Also, the A's are back in Sacramento, and oh yeah, this is why Alan's really so excited. The A's are in first place. Next on Sactown Sports.
Download the Sactown Sports FX app.
Sacramento sports in your pocket. This is Sactown Sports 1140.
On top of home and auto, Progressive protects your boat, RV, and motorcycle so you can explore the unknown.
Actually, we just take the RV to the same campground every year.
Well, maybe you can catch your own dinner on your boat.
Oh, we can actually get pizza delivered there from this brick oven place we love.
Will you at least try a new topping?
Honestly, probably not. We kind of have a go-to order.
Fine. Just bundle home or auto insurance with your outdoor vehicles with Progressive and stay protected when you go, I guess, where you've gone before. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
I'm U.S. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy. We all seem to be in a rush these days, from work to driving our kids around. But when you're behind the wheel, please do not speed. A few minutes saved by going faster is never worth the risk. So follow the speed limit, enjoy the drive, maybe bring some snacks for the kids, and know that along the way, you're getting quality time with your family.
Paid for by NHTSA.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Switchfoot Live. Friday, April 24th, 7 p.m., the venue at Thunder Valley. With Fuel. And Lit. And Thomas Ian Nicholas. For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com. One incredible night with Switchfoot, Fuel, and Lit. Together live.
Your Toyota's been through a lot with you. Traffic, rain, potholes, you name it. But it keeps showing up, mile after mile. So maybe it's time to give a little back. For a limited time at your local Toyota dealer, get 3 new tires and get the 4th for $1. Because a ride that's always there for you deserves to be taken care of. 3 tires, get the 4th for $1? Go on. Treat your Toyota. Deal ends April 30th. Keep your Toyota a Toyota. Restrictions apply. Toyota and Scion vehicles only. See participating Toyota dealers for details.
If you're serious about getting better at golf, start with the fit. At Hagen Oaks, everything begins with Total Game Fitting. The TrackMan Player Performance Studio analyzes your swing to match you with the right clubs. Ping's Ballnamic Fitting helps you find the golf ball for your game. The Hagen Oaks Putter Fitting Studio helps you roll it true. And with FootJoy's 3D foot scanner, you'll walk the course in shoes that actually fit. From driver to putter and even what's on your feet, Hagen Oaks fits every part of your game. Total Game Fitting, only at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue at Business 80.
Running a business takes grit, vision, and a partner who believes in your success as much as you do. At Valley Strong Credit Union, business banking is built around you. The entrepreneurs, the growers, the dreamers, powering our community. Whether you need flexible checking, faster payments, or financing to take your next big step, Valley Strong brings local expertise and real relationships to every stage of your business. Because when local businesses thrive, the whole valley grows stronger. Valley Strong Credit Union. Grow your business. Grow your future. ValleyStrong.com/business.
Cash money.
Download the app and listen to The Drive Guys.
The Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Alan Stiles.
On Sactown Sports 1140.
That's when he realized he was listening to The Drive Guys. Thanks for being with us. We have a lot more to get to today on the Kings exit interviews. The season is over. We say bye-bye to the Kings season. And we say hello to the Athletics who come back to Sacramento. I just, as we were in the break here, I looked up to my right. ESPN is on. We have monitors in our studio from, covering every sporting event that's going on anywhere in the world. And there was something up there, Alan, about Mets and Yankees have each lost 5 straight. Mm-hmm. What do the Mets and Yankees have in common?
Getting beat down by the A's.
That is correct.
Getting beat down.
Yeah. And I know you're not as excited about it as some, But the A's are back in town tonight with a share of first place.
Wow.
Under their belts.
Look.
The last team to win a game in Major League Baseball currently tied with the team that they'll be tussling with over the next 4 games at Sutter Health Park.
Well, to me, it's interesting because of how they've been doing it. You know, there was a high-scoring game. I think they beat the Mets 11-6 on Saturday, sometime this weekend. But a lot of low-scoring games. They held the Yankees to, I think 7 in a 3-game series. They held
3 shutouts on the trip.
Yeah, the Mets
2
as well.
1-0 wins.
So, I mean, to do that, I know we always joke about Yankee Stadium being a Little League ballpark. So to do that, and we know that pitching isn't really their strong point, good for them. And now they'll get to tussle, like you said, with the Rangers, who very confusing team, right? Won the World Series last season. They couldn't stay healthy. Moved on from the Bay Boy, Marcus Semien. So I don't
and the Boch Boy.
That's true. I don't think there'll be a lot of shutouts at Sutter Health Park, but you know, weather isn't as warm as it will be.
The greens are slow this week out at Sutter Health.
Very slow. You're gonna have to hammer it.
Let me ask you to judge each of these or rank each of these 0 to 10. Chris Carey posted this. So how significant are these? Says the guys are on fire. 5-1 on a tough New York City road trip. We give that.
Oh.
5-1 on a tough New York City road trip.
That's a 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3 shutouts, including 2 1-0 wins.
That's a 9.
Arrival of the pen. 1 earned run in the last 5 games.
That's a 10.
Power surge. First home runs for Soderstrom, Kurtz, and Cortez.
That's a 6.
Winning culture. 5 in a row for the first time since last September.
It's a 7.
Yeah, I'd have given it lower than that.
Yeah.
But there's some good things in there.
The pitching. That's with me, it's just all about the pitching.
Yeah.
Because they're going to hit. They're going to mash eventually, right? And if that pitching is able to do what it's doing now, they could be a problem. Extra wild card been there a couple years now.
I know you're being nice, and I know you appreciate the excitement that some baseball fans may feel around here. But I also, according to sources, you're not that overwhelmed by anybody's 8-7 start.
Well,
April.
It's early.
Yeah.
Like I said, the Giants, I'll never forget, it's almost like the kiss of death when Major League Baseball, the social media account, tweets about your team. The Giants are on pace for 120 wins. Then they immediately go into the toilet. You don't have to worry about that this season with the Giants, so maybe it'll be the reverse. But yeah, it's early, but I'll tell you this much, Whitey. I'd rather be joking about it being too early with the A's in first place than having to joke about the inverse of that, which is what the Giants are, because they're in last place.
Yeah. They're just, they're not that bad, but they're just not that good, I don't think. I know it's too early to draw too many conclusions, but I look at the Giants and they might be pretty good, which I think is why Giants fans are so upset. It's like, well, that's what they've been, is maybe pretty good.
You're constructed to mash like you're the A's, and you don't.
Yeah.
You know, Rafi Devers has, I believe, 3 extra base hits. He has 3 extra base hits in the last 63 at-bats. That's just not going to work. That if he doesn't hit, you're wasting everybody's time. So that's part of it. And, you know, as far as the A's are concerned, we know who they are, and they hit like who they are. The Giants don't really have an identity. We know what the A's are. Hey, hopefully our pitching keeps us above float, but we're going to, most of the time, we're going to put up more than 4 to 5 runs a game.
Yeah. So I'm very curious to see when people start, if they ever start really supporting the A's and getting behind them, getting out to the park. I'm not saying they should. I'd be surprised if it really gets, where we have like a full house every night during the summer, but I'm interested to see.
Yeah. And
this week I don't think there's going to be huge crowds, even though they are coming in here in first place.
The
Rangers and the Pale Hose.
Yeah. It's so early. The weather, we got to double check, and it's actually going to be pretty rough, Whitey, because you get the Rangers, then it gets worse against the White Sox.
Right. Exactly.
So
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. That is not great. Attendance gate, take a break. Take a break, attendance gate. We don't need pictures. No, because now here's the other side of attendance gate. Look at these crowds. They're not big crowds. I don't need either of them. I don't need it. I can't wait. Somebody is going to go there and take a picture of Sutter Health Park about an hour before A's White Sox.
I'll do it. You want me to?
No,
I'll do
don't.
it.
Before A's White Sox, and it's going to look terrible.
Right.
It's not going to look good. Don't do it. Nobody do it.
Is that a reflection on Sacramento's inability to maybe support another
team? Salt Lake wouldn't happen in Salt Lake.
I'm just asking what your opinion is.
No, I
agree with you.
No, they're nomads, the A's. They don't have a home. They're just wearing Sacramento jerseys on Saturdays at home. But this is not their home.
Step in the right direction, but still. Yeah.
You know, when you move somewhere, Whitey, and you you get the new ID, right? Like when we moved back during COVID to my parents' house. And, you know, it's no disrespect to my parents, but I wasn't changing my ID because, hey, I don't live here. I'm living
just in
here.
Concord?
Yeah, I'm living here now, but I don't live here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So my ID was never going to have the Concord address, right? The A's, their ID does not have a Sacramento address. I don't know what address it has right now.
Right.
But it doesn't have a Sacramento address. Not 95834.
I think that's one of the things we'll ask Dallas Braden about when he joins us at 4. And I know that's, an angle of it he doesn't want to spend a lot of time talking about probably, but has all of the drama with the relocation, leaving Oakland and not knowing for sure where they're going, I wonder if it's brought these guys closer together as a team.
Yeah, and I find it interesting. Remember when Brent Rooker signed that contract or got the contract while he was at the Kings game?
Got a bad oblique, by the way. But
yeah. And he was at the Kings game, and, he has said stuff, and it kind of reminds me of when the Raiders went to Vegas and Derek Carr was kind of got in a little bit of trouble because he was excited to go to Vegas. You're trying to talk as if, trying to talk to the Vegas fan base, but you're not trying to tick off the Oakland fan base. And I think, Brent Rooker has tried to do that. And Vegas and Raiders went straight to Vegas. They didn't have this Sacramento aspect of it. So I think Brent Rooker has, said some things that he's just trying to do the right thing and say the right things. But when you're talking about 3 different fan bases,
it's tricky.
You're not going to be able to keep them all happy.
I don't know how to answer that.
Right. So it's there are a lot of different angles to it, but they're all doing their best. And I think, like you said, it's such a unique situation that only those on the A's will be able to discuss it. A lot of times, you could even compare it to the Kings in a way, which such a crazy season this season and in a different way last season was. There's other teams that stink though, right? There's no other team going through what the A's players are going through. So just organically, you're going to be close.
Maybe this is because you're from Concord. Maybe not. Maybe there's a legitimate reason, but it's interesting. You're celebrating the end of the Kings season, kind of glossed over what the Kings did to the Warriors in the last
No.
And that was a little spicy.
No, it was great.
Friday night.
Because I told you, hold on, got to spin the block. Number one, I told you they were winning one of those games. I didn't say how. I know they sat Steph, whatever. I didn't say how. I told you the Kings were winning one of those Warriors games.
You even called me out on Twitter. And
I don't remember
saying you were wrong. Like, why do you got to listen to me?
Yeah, but I didn't say you didn't listen. I said you got to keep listening to me. I talked about that and all the chippiness that was happening. I told you there was juice, Whitey.
You did.
I told you.
I thought you walked that back a little bit, but
because High Flyer was here, and I got pressured out of the juice. But I should have stuck to my guns because I knew it. And then Dylan is barking. Everyone's barking.
Yeah.
It's a rivalry, people. It's okay. It's okay to
Is it a rivalry?
No. And hold on now. Cat Crew. I'm hanging out. I told you all these kids in Cat Crew, they either just finished college, they're younger than me. They call me Unc. They joke me. It is what it is. I'm watching it with these dudes that are Sacramento natives talking about, come on, Steph, let's go.
Well, if you're not from Sacramento, you don't know.
And I don't know. Hey, we don't know. And I said, hold on. Aren't you guys from Sacramento? And they say, yeah. And they know who I'm talking about. They say, yeah, but I was in like 5th grade when Steph is cooking, so we just
really
kind of like I told you with my wife's friend that's a Chiefs fan, we just became Warriors. He's like, bruh, the Kings were trash, so we were Warriors fans.
You might have just thrown them under the old team bus there.
I was surprised. I was very surprised. They're from Sacramento.
More on that also. We'll look at the big Masters question that remains unanswered. How did CBS so badly botch the finish? Drive Guys, Sactown Sports.
The Sactown Sports 1140 newsletter right to your email. Get your latest on the Sacramento Kings, athletics, and Republic FC with the Sactown Sports 1140 newsletter. Visit SactownSports.com to join.
If your passion is bass fishing, only one radio show has the action, information, and excitement of your favorite outdoor sport. Ultimate Bass, hosted by Tournament Bass Pro and California Outdoor Hall of Famer Kent Brown, takes you live to where the fish are biting every Saturday morning. Only Ultimate Bass feeds your passion with the latest news, products, tips, and advice from the pros. Ultimate Bass with Kent Brown, Saturday mornings at 5 a.m. on Sactown Sports 1140, part of SEP's Saturday Morning Outdoors.
Spring is here, and the savings are blooming at Maida Subaru. Right now, Maida Subaru says yes to savings like discounts up to $6,000 off MSRP. Yes to customer cash up to $2,000. Yes to lease payments as low as $249 per month for 36 months with $39.99 due at signing on new Forester Premium. And yes to financing as low as 0% APR with little or no down payment. Visit MaidaSubaru.com. Click the Maida Says Yes button and unlock your spring savings today. Call 279-201-3593 for more information.
Card collectors know there's nothing as special as a rare one-of-one card. And now you can hear a very rare one-of-a-kind sports card show right here on Sactown Sports. Whitey Gleason here inviting you to join me and Mr. True Sports Cards himself, Imran Pilati, for the True Sports Card Show every Saturday morning at 10 on Sactown Sports. It's the only sports card radio show in the nation. For all your hobby needs, get to True Sports Cards, 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland. And for hobby, insight, and fun, join us for the True Sports Card Show Saturday mornings at 10 on Sactown Sports.
Is the crew on their way so we can fire up the grill?
Cabrito, arrachera. They're gonna love it.
Better go with birria and carne en su jugo. Classic Jalisco dishes with tradition.
That seasoning is great, but northern Mexican-style meat speaks for itself. Let's make both.
Deal. And to boost the flavor, ice-cold Pepsi. Its sweetness pairs perfectly.
And to go with it, flour tortillas.
And corn ones too. Hey, carne asada deserves Pepsi.
Sacramento! Now you got a place for all things dance.
The all-new Energy 100.5 HD2.
Where dance music lives. Dance vibes anytime and any place when you get the free Now 100.5 app.
Or listen at 100.5 HD2.
If your business depends on reliable vehicles, it's time to upgrade your fleet at myelkgrovechevrolet.com. We specialize in fleet pricing, bulk discounts, and fast approvals, so your team stays on the road and on the job. From work, trucks, and vans to fuel-efficient sedans and SUVs, we have the inventory, service, and financing to keep your business moving. Call or visit myelkgrovechevrolet.com today and ask about exclusive fleet savings. myelkgrovechevrolet.com, driving business forward.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
DQ presents the Blizzard Double Flip Deal. For a limited time, when you buy one Blizzard treat, you get a second for just 99 cents. That's 2 Blizzards, 2 spoons, 2 flavors, and 2 flips. So don't miss out on the Blizzard Double Flip Deal, available only for a limited time and happening now at DQ. Because the only thing better than a Blizzard treat is a second Blizzard treat for just 99 cents. It's a deal to flip for. The Blizzard Double Flip Deal. Get it in the app. Participation may vary.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Exit interviews for the Kings today. We got some of the highlights for you, of course. Before we get back to that, I just want to touch real quickly on what went down yesterday during coverage of the final round of the Masters. And I know we don't spend a lot of time talking about golf, but it was the Masters, and it was a great finish, but CBS kind of botched it. I know it's not the easiest thing to broadcast golf, but Rory McIlroy hit a bad drive on 18 here. He's trying to win, and he hits way right. And so then he's got his second shot from the pine straw, and the ball disappeared. He hit his second shot, and the camera's panned around the green for, this is from, might have been from Newsweek. The camera's panned around the green for 2 minutes straight. People online losing their minds about where the ball went. And it was funny because I didn't have the sound up all the way, but I don't think the announcers said anything because they didn't know what to say.
Right.
So you can kind of see, like, literally the cameraman looking for the ball.
Yeah. It was at first, and then I thought they were both in the sand at one point. Yes. I heard the broadcaster say that Young went towards the Patriots.
They lost his second shot, too.
Yeah, so he was over, but the way they said it, I thought I heard, he's, over by where the fans are. Then he was walking towards the sand, and I thought, are they both in the sand? Because then it sounded like, and he's checking to make sure it's his ball. And I thought, so are they both in the sand?
Right. We didn't know because they didn't know.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Right.
So, so they're looking for a shot. This could determine who wins the Masters. Finally, you see a sand trap and a ball. Yeah. It's like, is that Rory's ball?
Right.
Nobody knew.
No, and Rory was checking. The way Rory looked at it, okay, cool. It's definitely his ball.
Then he gets up and down, and it was fine. But I don't remember ever seeing that while watching a golf tournament, especially in a major on a shot that was that crucially important.
Right. It was, and then, because I thought what you were talking about was after that.
I am talking about that too.
The way, it was a very short putt, outstanding bogey for Rory. It's just always an adventure with him. And he putts it.
The
but
camera's
his foot,
behind him.
Yes.
You couldn't see the hole.
So you couldn't see the ball go in.
Yeah.
And then you see him look up.
Right. He puts his head back. And it's like, for a split second, I thought, that's how he'd react if he missed it.
Right.
But we couldn't see it. And apparently that was also an issue for a lot of fans watching on TV. He made it. Right? There were just a lot of questions for viewers that we shouldn't have when we're watching it happen on TV.
Yeah, I mean, if it was a buzzer beater in basketball and for some reason they had the camera panned on Doug Christie instead of the basket and you just kind of heard it would be weird.
Yeah.
Right? Or not Doug Christie, on Zach LaVine makes a buzzer beater, but the camera stayed on Zach LaVine and didn't show the ball going in.
Mm-hmm.
And then you saw their reaction. Okay, it went in.
It must be because he took that shot from the pine straw, and I think he went over the tree. So it wasn't like one shot could follow the ball.
No.
It was like one camera had to show him hit it, and then another camera had to pick it up.
Yeah.
And the other camera never picked it up.
And I didn't even know where that line was.
I was confused by that, too. I guess it's a slight dog leg.
Yeah, and
he's way to the right, but then he's hitting it kind of left. It was
He kind of hooked it around the trees, I guess.
Yeah.
And it was a pretty hard hook to get into that bunker. But nobody knew. He's telling the patrons to move out the way.
Right.
And the term I was looking for in the first segment, Whitey, it's the surrender cobra. When you put your hands on top.
Okay.
So all of his
I had not heard that.
Everyone from Ireland, is that a school? I don't know if that was a school.
No, it was a golf club.
His golf club from
Northern Ireland.
They all look like 15. I don't know who they were.
15 years old and they're all wearing jackets.
Right. They all are.
Maybe they're wearing their master's jackets for good
dark
luck.
Green.
Yeah.
This is going to be me one day.
Yeah.
I'll leave the Irish accent to you. This is going to be me one day. And I'm just watching them surrender Cobra as he fires it into the straw. Oh, my goodness. Besides the camera, just outstanding. I'm a big Rory guy. I need that polo that he had, Whitey, that Nike polo. Oh, It was great. Besides the camera stuff.
Rory being Rory, right?
Yeah. I mean, most exciting golfer in golf.
He has a dominant lead, then he starts tanking a little bit, make it more interesting.
It's great. Great for the game and time.
Mm-hmm.
Man, Alan, you piped that second shot. Okay. Just get it on the green, and I'm putting for par. Chunk daddy flex.
I know a guy. I've known him since I was a kid. Our mothers were good friends. He lives in San Diego, and he played in the prom once in Torrey Pines, and he played with Justin Rose, and he said he's a great guy.
Yeah.
I was
would have
pulling
been
for him a little bit, but
no,
you
I
can
know.
tell. Yeah.
Yeah. To be honest, it's one of those things where because Rory was winning, I wanted him to close the deal. If Rory wasn't winning and was kind of doing the Scheffler thing, it would have been fun, but I would have been fine with somebody else getting their green jacket.
Your guy, Jerry Reynolds, was rooting for Rory, and I texted him. He's like, yeah, it's getting a little scary.
Well, but that's what's so funny.
Yeah.
It was, and our guy, all right, even though it was the spiciest interview I think we've had here in a while, our guy Bonte is on social media, and you didn't see this. Our guy Bonte is on social media, and he's asking the question, hey, why don't people like Rory? Or he said something like that. Why don't people like Rory? And I was very confused because as far as I'm concerned, I think Rory is fairly beloved.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't really know what what I missed about that. He said, casual golf fan over here. My question for you golf addicts, why is Rory hated so much? I don't think
he might
Rory's
be a little
hated.
too casual.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Like me saying Rory's my favorite golfer is not a hot take. I think a lot of people like Rory. He was a boy wonder.
Yeah.
He was chipping into the washing machine.
Yeah.
He's a phenom.
Mm-hmm.
Their guy.
Yeah.
So good for him. And
right.
And the cameraman.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you get in trouble? Like, does CBS have a, hey, let's talk to the camera people? It can't happen again.
Probably, right? The director, somebody has to, hey, guys, what happened there?
Yeah. Is there anything worse than you're going to get in trouble for something? Like, not parents.
There's got to be a good reason,
stuff.
but I just don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And it was embarrassing to see it, and then no one's saying anything, and you're just seeing, okay, that's a shot from behind the green, and Rory's ball is there somewhere.
Right.
Could you show me where? Because I was not able to see it.
And I don't even know if they had the tracker for that shot either. It was just
No, that's what I'm saying, because you had him hit it, and then you had to pick up with a different camera where the ball came out.
Guys, we're going to have a meeting about this, right?
Right.
That's the worst.
Yeah.
The worst.
Uh-huh.
Wow. What?
Anyway.
So what? At this point, is golf more exciting than basketball? Is that where we're going now? You know what's coming next.
Majors golf, especially the Masters, is more watchable than the last day of the NBA season when really nothing's at stake. I'll go that far.
And you know what's coming next? Man, NHL playoffs. NHL might catch the NBA too. This is going to get out of hand. I just want you to prepare for that.
All the NBA has to do is have a great postseason.
Yeah.
Have some great storylines, some great series, and all will be forgotten.
By the way, and I sent you this too, Jared McCain, the perfect addition for OKC. If we're really
I was on him for the Kings, but I have to admit I came off of him before they actually picked.
Well, I'm talking about something else.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the NBA needing a team that everyone hates.
Oh.
Now, we're not going to get into the nitty-gritty of why some people don't like Jared McCain, but the bottom line is people don't like him. He was posting his TikTok when they got back, and there was a big crowd, and a lot of NBA fans said, this is the problem, or NBA haters said, this is the problem with the NBA. This dude's dancing. You know what I mean? We did the same thing with Caleb Williams, the nail painting, all that. Like I said, we're not going to get into the details. My larger point is that OKC becoming more hateable and less likable is good for the league. Because right now the Kings don't, or the NBA doesn't have that. You got the flopper in Shea. You got their Draymond in Lou Dort. Everyone is just annoyed by Jared McCain, even though all he does is cook, to be honest with you. I think it's a perfect match made in heaven for the league to try to create a new villain. Now, it's not going to be the level of Miami or when KD went to the Warriors, but it's something, Whitey. It's something.
We got to see the Spurs and the Nuggets in the conference finals, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, with lots of trials and tribulations to get there, but I think it'd be disappointing if those aren't the two teams left standing at when we get to the finals.
And your Spurs, they...
Not my Spurs.
They did not play Wemby. Shout out the Riverwalk. They did not play Wemby. Now they're going to have to go through the Nuggets and OKC to get to the finals.
I will tell you this. If anybody's still playing in the West is my this or that, it's probably the Nuggets.
They're my Nuggets, though.
I think I just claimed them first.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
My Thunder? I can't do it.
There you go.
I can't do it.
You can have them.
All right.
By the way, what did you think of all the spiciness in the Kings-Warriors game?
I loved it. This is what we need. Dylan was barking, and then Draymond starts barking. Everyone said, I was reading all the comments, wait, what is happening? This game doesn't really matter for either side, but that's what a rivalry does. It brings it out of you. And they can say what they want. By the way, we saw the 95-7 flagship. When we moved out here, when I moved out here, stop talking about the Warriors. You cover the Kings now. Well, I'm going to flip it. Stop talking about the Kings, Bay Area media. Talk about your own 10 seed. How about that? They're sitting there, hey, good on the Kings. They messed up their odds, all to just beat the Warriors who pulled out their starters. The Kings were giving the Warriors that work before they pulled them out. And now you want to say, oh, they messed up their odds. Just stop it. Your team stinks. You paid Jimmy way too much money. Porzingis never plays. Just hold the L. And now you want to talk about, oh, they didn't have all their guys. And you're going to put Steph on a minutes restriction? Have some shame. They should be investigated.
The Warriors are very close to becoming something that the Kings decided they did not want to be.
Yes.
Which is stuck in the middle. When we come back, the season is over, but we still don't know what the Kings lottery odds will be, and we'll hear what Russell Westbrook had to say today when we come back. Don't go away.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Capital Casino is conveniently located in downtown, 411 16th Street, and has been a part of the greater Sacramento area for over 20 years. They offer the best variety of games in the region in a safe and friendly environment, and there's plenty of parking, all well lit and monitored by security. Come have a great meal at the cafe and restaurant inside. Capital Casino has the best food, the best service, and the best action. But please always remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Tune in every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday for the Toyota Tahoe Report with Johnny Mosley and me, Elena, bringing you the latest weather conditions up at Tahoe. Brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
Now through May 3rd at Big O Tires, get $50 to $100 instant savings on 4 select in-stock Cooper, Hankook, or Pirelli brand tires with installation purchase. Book your appointment online today. Disposal fees extra, not good with other offers. See your locally owned Big O dealer for pricing.
This is the sound of Jack, buzz cutting his way to a small fortune. To Jack, every time he cuts his own hair, that's $50 right in his pocket. If Jack sees DIY buzz cuts as a saving strategy, Wells Fargo is right behind him. And with their mobile app, tracking his savings is easy. Oh, ouch. However you make money work, we can work with that.
Mobile carriers' message and data rates may apply. Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sactown Sports 1140.
Live and local, it's watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
Got a lot going on, wrapping up the Kings season. Going over some of the things that were said during the exit interviews. Got the A's, first place A's, back home. Martin Ramirez here in the YouTube chat says, Whitey, it's the leather elephant mask with that gold chain. Team Unity. Both were worn for the first time on Saturday. Looks like they were supplied by Luis Severino. Have you seen that? Jay, have you seen that? Alan? The Kings hit a home run, and then you get the gold chain with the elephant and put on.
Jay, why you say
it's not my favorite
like that?
thing. It's not my favorite thing.
Everybody's doing it. They're like 3 seasons behind.
Yeah, here's my thing, and of course, I think the Giants were doing something for a hot second. Here's what's weird about it, guys. When you're getting
Giants, where you get it like you eat a Ghirardelli sundae.
Yeah, it's very filling. What happens?
With garlic.
It's always garlic. When you're getting your butts whooped and then you hit a home run down 8-1, do you do it?
I think you do. I mean, I think it's always there, just to be clear, because otherwise, how do you know when you do it or not? Somebody hits a home run, you do it.
But isn't it funny?
It's a little,
right?
It's a little cringy.
Yeah, I've always, I don't have a problem with it. You guys know I love the bat flips. I love all of it. Yeah, the double celebration, you can always do it, even if you're down. It's a double. But yeah, the home run stuff is different because it's just there's a little bit more to it. So do it if you want. But I also had a thought. Do the Dodgers do anything?
I think they do. I think everybody does something.
They throw
now.
like seeds at them or something.
Yeah,
because I had a theory.
What it is, but I think everybody does something now.
I had a theory that the World Series winner never has a home run celebration.
Interesting.
Or, because obviously the Blue Jays have that jacket, but they didn't win. I was trying to remember.
interesting question.
I'm
not
near the Dodgers.
sure.
They don't do anything. They don't wear anything.
I can tell you, going back to 2012, the A's, when they surprised everybody and they won the division.
Yeah.
They had, do you remember the home run tunnel?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My understanding is, you had a manager who was kind of old school. He wasn't crazy about that at the time. Yeah. But they were winning, and it's like, well, the team's playing really well. Now it's just, can you imagine what some of these managers think of some of this stuff?
Yeah.
But it's like, well, it's part of it now. Everybody does it.
Yeah. And I've noticed with Willie Adames, big on Gatorade. He finds really any excuse to throw Gatorade on a player. And he's just a fun-loving guy, seems like. But it doesn't take much to get Gatorade thrown on you. And I don't have a problem with it. But it doesn't take a lot. Dude.
So you mean like if one of the Giants' first basemen catches a ball, they're like,
Gatorade? Willie's running out there with Gatorade. He's throwing it on the fans, throwing it on everybody.
Yeah.
They like to throw Gatorade out there.
By the way, Casey Schmidt has been hitting the cover off the ball.
He's balling.
Yeah.
And the Giants' outfield has been so horrific, so terrible. They're probably going to, if they have to move Casey, because they're doing weird stuff with
Devers
left
at
field
or something?
Yeah. Probably. Probably.
Mm-hmm.
And Jung Hoo's still making $20 million a year for the next 4 years. Bader has been awful. Hey, guys, have you ever seen an OPS in the threes?
OPS?
OPS.
What about a WOBA? What's his WOBA?
It's a NOBA. It's a NOBA. I've never seen an OPS in the threes.
That's not good, but it's early, as my friend Alan Stiles points
It's
out.
early.
Yeah.
Until it's not.
Because that's on base plus slugging.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both of those ideally are in the fours. So the combinations in the threes, that ain't good.
I think average OPS should be 7-something. And he's in the threes, and Patrick Bailey is in the threes. Not good.
Not good.
Not good at all.
But the A's are in first place, Alan.
That's
Remember
right.
that.
They don't got no WOBAs. They don't got no bad WOBAs.
They might, because they're not scoring a lot of runs. But we'll see what happens when they're back home here.
Boba.
Season is over for the Kings, but we still don't know for sure what the lottery odds are going to be because they end up tied with Utah. So what do we got?
Coin flip. Heads or tails. Are you a tails never fails guy, Whitey?
No.
Jay, you a tails never fails? Because don't they say that the reason tails never fails because the head on the quarter is slightly heavier?
I don't know, but I can tell you that tails fails about half the time. Without even looking it up. Yeah, I can tell you that.
Yeah.
It's pretty much, about half the time.
I don't know. We'll have to do that one day. Just flip it 50 times.
You know, it took me a long time to understand. This is really stupid, I know, but if you flip a coin and it comes up heads 8 times in a row, the odds on the ninth flip are still 50-50. And it took me a long time because I was like, no, it's more likely. Eventually it's going to come up tails. No, it's always 50-50.
That's true.
And
like roulette.
I struggled with that concept. Well into adulthood.
I got you.
You guys play roulette at all?
Look, man. Jay, don't ask questions you already know the answer.
Alan is no stranger to the wheel.
That's right. Oh, I love it. I love it. Whitey, somebody's going at me on my beloved text line. And it's kind of weird.
Not your text line, but that's fine. Go ahead. What do we got?
I frequent it more than you do. Alan with the trash take, having low attendance numbers because this, quote, isn't the real home of the team, talking about the A's, isn't a good excuse. Oklahoma City was the temporary home for the New Orleans Hornets, and they sold out arenas, and that's why they ended up being the permanent home of the Supersonics when they left. I don't know. I do know that these situations aren't the same. And then I said, hey, number one, I don't care. Number two, how are they different? OKC was trying to get an NBA team, and the Hornets were a trial run. Sacramento wants an MLB expansion team, and this is a trial run, and they are failing. That's what they said, Whitey. I don't think that the situations are the same because, number one, you're in a minor league ballpark, and I get it. You're supposed to pack it out. But number two, and you'll have to help me, Whitey, with the whole OKC New Orleans thing. Number two is the A's are already going to Vegas, right? So I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get caught up in it. The bottom line is that with John Fisher, look, could it help? Sure. Packing it out every day? Sure. But it does not guarantee anything.
Well, I know that our friend the mayor has, I believe publicly, has said we hope fans come out, and I think he said it on the station the day when I was here. We hope fans come out and support the team. It will help us. But we also had David Sampson on, who has been in front offices for a long time, has that podcast now. He said it's really not going to matter ultimately. Baseball's not going to make the decision on which city gets a team by how many people go to the A's games in Sacramento.
Right. Because
I don't know. They can't hurt, but
right.
Yeah.
Well, and it would be unfair to the other teams because those other teams or those other cities don't have this opportunity.
Well, that's why Sacramento's doing this.
Right. So it could actually end up, well, you just gave it to Sacramento because, they helped you. It's just not as clean. So I'm not going to compare it to whatever was going down in OKC. And like I said, ultimately, I don't care if 5-3-0. I don't care if people go to the games or not. You can have your opinion that the A's, that Sacramentans are failing. That's your opinion. If they want to go, they can go. There's no promises either way.
One reason the A's are playing well, they seem to have a lot of camaraderie, as we do here at the station. For example, Alan and I here, as we talk about the Kings and the lottery odds, we are getting bombarded by texts from coworkers, right? Bombarded.
Yeah.
Helpful texts. Yes. People explain to us, Chris Verlade, Kyle Ledbetter, and we appreciate it as we're trying to figure out here, okay, where are the Kings with the lottery odds? With a tie now between the Kings and Utah, you're going to have a coin flip. The odds for a top 4 pick are not affected, right? But, and this is from Kyle Ledbetter, Kings and Jazz have the same odds at each of the top 4 picks. Yes, again, Chris Verlade pointed that out. But the coin toss will be very important. If the Kings win the coin flip, they will have a 79.8% chance of picking in the top 6. 79.8% chance of picking in the top 6. If the Kings lose the coin flip, only 65.7% chance of picking top 6. So, and I know Matt was all over this today. That's a 14.1% difference in landing one of the top prospects. So that's what's at stake. Wow. Obviously, you could end up losing, and there's still a really good chance you're going to get a top 6 pick. But that's what's at stake. It's just the likelihood.
Man.
You don't like those numbers?
I don't like numbers unless it's green. But either way, I just can't believe we're in this position. I mean, I can, and I know we're about to get into what Russell Westbrook had to say because he was a big part of this. I mean, this is what the Kings kind of hitched their wagon to as far as we want these guys, talking about, I think, the 3 amigos in Nick Clifford, Maxime Reynaud, and Dylan Cardwell. We want them to experience wins and be a part of some competitive basketball. Hopefully it doesn't burn them.
I will say that the narrative that the veterans playing as much as they were early in the year were taking away time from the younger players, important developmental time. I believe I was one of the people that talked about that, as probably was overblown. Because you look now, the season's over, and all the young players that you'd want to have time, I think they got decent stretches of time.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was just a different world at that point. I mean, when we were first talking about this was before, and I'm not going to get myself in trouble here, but this is before. So we were arguing about Keon. We were arguing about, to a lesser degree, Devin. This was all when they were losing games. After we got through the first 2 months and we realized this team is going nowhere fast, whether we agree with it or not, that they were not really intending on trying to keep a relationship with Keon Ellis. Okay, well, that's one that's gone. I don't know where they're at with Devin Carter. Yeah, he ended up getting playing time at the end of the season once everything was cooked. And then you had the other part of that, Whitey, which was a lot of the injuries took care of itself. So I wouldn't say that you were wrong in your assessment. It just worked itself out. I mean, if Maxime, if Domas isn't hurt for the whole season, how much do we see Maxime? We thought he was going to be in Stockton for the most part. So I don't think anybody that was mad early on needs to feel any differently. It just ended up working out because of injuries, and they just told us, hey, Keon's just not our guy.
But it did work out, I think, for the most part. It did. Russell Westbrook met with the media today. Do we have that, Jay? Let me know when we here's Russell Westbrook, some comments from him today, his exit interviews, and at this point he has learned not to take anything for granted.
I learned at a young age, like, I don't take anything this game has given me. God has put me in a position to be here this long, and I don't take the game for granted. I don't take been in this position for granted. Like it's hard to get in this league. It's hard to be in this league a good amount of time, and I like to cherish and enjoy those moments. And given this platform, I try to use the way I play, use my energy and passion to be able to help inspire other people in walks of life. And if that's sports, cool. If there's other jobs that people may have and kids, I want to be able to do that by the way I play. And I definitely take it personally to be able to make sure that my body, my mind is prepared to be able to do that every night. And, and as far as where it's come from, I mean, probably just how I grew up, my neighborhood, where I'm from, it allows me to be able to understand that it's things that's bigger than the game. And the game is just a stepping stone to be able to allow me to be able to use part of this journey. So,
one thing that I didn't realize, Alan, I didn't realize how close Russ and DeMar were.
Mm-hmm.
DeMar talked about that today, and we'll hear probably at some point here from DeMar a little bit. But he talked about how they've known each other since they were just very young.
Right.
Yeah, and it's also something that I didn't realize. I forget about this. I think we all do this when we look at players, especially older players. What do they want? We're asking that question a lot today. What do you want going forward? And I know I forget sometimes that just playing matters, And it's like, well, does he want championships? He wants some money, legacy. And I think that's kind of part of what Russ was talking about there, but DeMar really talked about that today. Somebody asked him, and again, I think it relates to Russ, is why I'm mentioning it here. It's like, well, what do you want going forward of all the things? And DeMar said, just the most important thing is playing basketball.
Right. Yeah. And there was a point, I think, when the buyout conversations never really picked up. I think that's when some of us started to sit back and look at things a little bit differently. And I think for DeMar, even when he was more so deferring versus taking, a lot of shots and getting into his office, it felt like there was a conversation between doing that and being the eighth guy on the Hornets, right? Or some contender or a team that was at least in the playoffs. And the other part of it is, does DeMar's legacy, and I will just stick with DeMar because Russ is in a slightly different position. DeMar's legacy, if he's the eighth guy, and, we've seen it before with other players, averages 5 points in a finals, and they win, and he gets a championship, and he gets to say NBA champion, but the opportunity for him to win a championship as the guy, that door is closed. And nobody's, I don't think, would really look at him terribly differently if he got a ring as the eighth or ninth guy on this side of his career. So for DeMar to do that, or to have more control in Sacramento and, be a mentor, which he really enjoys doing. We've heard that from everyone. It got to a point where even to this day, having on Keith Smith and others, well, they should want to be on a contending team. I don't know if they value it the same way, because I don't know how much their legacy would change based on what their roles would be.
In some ways, it's almost more noble, just the idea that I want to play. I'm reminded of when Vince Carter was towards the end of his career, and I believe he could have gone to the Warriors when they were winning rings.
Right.
But he wanted to come, it might have been when he came here, because he's like, I want to play.
Right.
I go there, I know I'm going to play because I want to play basketball.
Yeah.
Here's more from Russ. What did you think of the season that he had here? Well, here's Russ on how he feels about the season he just had for the Kings.
I didn't have a job until a couple of days before the season, so I had no expectations of what could be. I was just blessed and thankful to have an opportunity to be able to start another NBA season. And obviously, as things unfolded here, trying to figure out the best way to compete, be competitive, given the late arrival for myself. But I feel good about how the year went, at least for me personally. Made it through healthy, so I'm blessed to be able to do that and get through a season healthy, especially at this age and years in the league. So grateful for that.
It's a humbled Russ today.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, is this the first time since?
I don't know what you're talking about, Al.
Well,
Since he went hard on the media?
It is, right? I don't think
best of my knowledge, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so. So, which feels, by the way,
I did know what you were talking about.
I know you did. Yeah, and I understand what you were doing. I think we can talk about it in this capacity.
Okay.
Because it does feel like that was, I don't know, Whitey, a year ago. It feels like it was a really long time ago. And for him now to, just talk about his journey, I appreciate it. I think we all appreciate what Russ did. He went on to kind of talk about, if they want me back, I'll be back.
We're going to hear that next season,
so
as a matter of fact.
I think that everyone got out of this season what they wanted once they realized where the season was going, if that makes sense. And I think Russ is no different.
Yeah. One of my favorite Jackson 5 songs is I Want You Back. It's a crazy, crazy bass line. Are the Kings playing that for Russ? Russ, if the Kings want you back, would you come back?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind coming back. Yeah, I'm always anywhere I want it. I'm there. I want to be able to be helpful, be productive, but also I understand it's a business. I've been around a long time, so I understand a lot of different moving variables for that, and that's out of my control. My job is to be ready, be prepared, and be ready to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So is he talking about the money there, maybe, or some of it's just you don't know if they'll want him back? It sounds pretty clear. It seems pretty clear that the Kings want him back in some regard.
And, it's crazy because when I was listening to that, it sounds like he understands that why they wouldn't want him back.
Yeah, it could be too. That's kind of what I'm asking you. How did you hear
That's how I heard it. When he said, I understand the business, I think that means I understand that these guys are going to have to reset at some point now to what you had to say. Maybe that's not next season, but if Russ, and that's what this whole thing has been with Russ, can you fight the feeling of having a huge brand like that in Sacramento? If they get Debansa, maybe you look at it differently because you didn't get a point guard. But if you get Acuff, I'm not seeing it. I don't necessarily see it.
Who better to teach an Acuff or whomever how to play point guard in the NBA?
You can make up or you can come up with anything you want to keep Russ if they want. And I think Russ is saying, I don't know what options are going to be out there for me. If they are an option and they want me, I'm down to do whatever it is that I've been doing. I would have the Kirk Cousins question for Russ, though. If you're bringing him back, there's no way you can't pull the plug. This isn't a quarterback situation, even though I bring up Kirk Cousins. You can't limit, like Dylan Harper. He's in a different situation because De'Aaron's in his prime, and the Spurs are trying to win right now, and they just have an embarrassment of riches with Stephon Castle as well. So Dylan Harper coming off the bench, that's different. I cannot live in a world where Darius Acuff is coming off the bench to start so Russ can kind of teach him that this is not the NFL.
Well, here's one more from Russ today on whether he will be coming back to the Kings.
Yeah, it's been great for me here. If I'm welcome back, then I'll be back. But that's not up to me. It's kind of how it's been for me the last couple summers and seasons, unfortunately. But kind of see what happens at that point.
I get your point, Alan. You're saying, hey, Russ, at some point next year, if we bring you back, we may not want you to play as many minutes. Are you okay with that? I will tell you that when the Kings brought in De'Aaron, was 19 at the time, I think. They also, and this was Scott Perry, if I'm not mistaken, they brought in a guy by the name of George Hill to kind of show De'Aaron how you play point guard. I know I was saying that De'Aaron Fox needs to play. The George Hill thing did not work out. But it may be, my point is, maybe that's how Scott Perry looks at it. Like, we got a young guy, whoever it's going to be, if they end up with a young point guard, hey, there's a lot of value in having a guy like Russ show him how it's done. But I understand your point. It could apply to DeMar too. Like, hey, if they do want him back, we want you back, but just so by mid-season or so, we may not want you playing a lot of minutes. Are you okay with that if it comes to that?
It just doesn't seem necessary to me. It just seems like, again, it creates more issues than anything else.
I think it helps as far as, as much as we talk about your brand, Russell Westbrook as kind of a mentor on your team. Still, your brand is a little stronger than it is without Russell Westbrook.
You're probably right, but it's just, what are you trying to accomplish, really? And I don't know. When we look at, I'd have to go back at the Cade Cunninghams and all these guards that come into the league. How often do they have that vet? And again, are we talking about they're starting together? Are they playing at the same time? Or is Darius Acuff or Keaton Wagler coming off the bench? I don't know. I just feel like it doesn't happen as often in basketball. And it just feels like, again, you're creating more issues. Hey, Russ, are you good? Are you playing enough? We don't know what the tanking rules are going to be, but they're probably going to be trying to get another top pick in 2027. So I don't know. I think my issue with it is, Whitey, you can make excuses to bring Russ back and DeMar every single season. There's always going to be a young player that can use what they can give, right? But why isn't any other team wanting to have Russ in that capacity? There's going to be, 5 point guards drafted in the top 10. Any of them want Russ's, and that's not me bagging on Russ. That's me saying, why is it that the Kings are obsessing?
I understand.
If they bring him back, what is their obsession with this mentor situation where other teams don't need to do that, don't feel like they need to do that, and they're still successful?
If you had, and we probably did talk about this when they first signed him, if we had talked about, hey, what about Russ coming back next year, maybe as kind of a mentor? I know I would have. If I didn't, I may have said, no way, I have no interest in that. Now he's got a little equity in what you're doing, and I wouldn't automatically say no, because I need to get under the hood a little bit and see, well, how much did he help? Because it looks like some of the young players really responded to what he brought to the table. And if Russell Westbrook and DeMar DeRozan, I think Russ is more likely to stay than DeMar. But if he's like, you know what? Yeah, I'm at the end of my career here. I want to play, but I really do want to help with the young guys. I mean, that's not nothing. You gotta look at how much that actually benefited your team.
And but you can't talk out of both sides of your mouth. You know what I mean? If it's about,
just watch me.
If it's about, I want to play, right?
Right, that's the key. It's like, well,
then that's not the place for you. Because if I want to do that, then I will go to not the Nuggets for Russ, but then I will go to a contender and just be the ninth man there and see what it is. But
that's the unspoken part of it. We can't assume, even though I had a good year, we can't assume that all of a sudden teams that didn't want him before are now going to circle back. You're a year older? Oh, well, yeah, let's do something.
It did not sound like Russ felt as if other teams were going to be interested. It did not sound like that to me. The last thing I'll say, Whitey, real quick, is I could maybe get on the train with you to bring Russ back, but you cannot. I will not. There's no way I can have Russ and DeMar both on the team next season. You can pick one, and I really don't want either, to be respectfully, but you can't have both. That's just not it.
Yeah, the Kings do have big contracts they'd like to move and young players they need to develop. So where does Devin Carter fit in with all of that? We're back with that and more on Exit Interview Day. Drive Guys, Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Annie's first oil change wasn't as hard as she thought because she went to AutoZone, where a friendly AutoZoner helped her find the right oil and save on an oil filter. He explained the job and showed her free how-tos on AutoZone.com. When she was done, AutoZone recycled her old oil for free. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Restrictions apply.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
Country in the Park is back. May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo. Miranda Lambert. John Party. Chris Young. Turnpike Troubadours. Dylan Scott and more. Line dancing live DJs, mechanical bulls, huge festival area, and food trucks. Tickets start at only $68. Country in the Park. May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo with N&S Tractor and Case Construction and Courtyard by Marriott Sacramento Cal Expo. More info at citvfest.com.
Buying golf gear is easy. Buying the right golf gear? Well, that's different. At Hagen Oaks, they don't just sell equipment, they fit your entire game. With TrackMan technology in the Player Performance Studio, your clubs are matched to your swing. Ping's Ballnamic Fitting helps you find the golf ball that performs best for you. Hagen Oaks Putter Fitting Studio dials in your stroke, and FootJoy's 3D foot scanner finds correct shoe size for your feet. It's a smarter way to play better golf. Total Game Fitting at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue at Business 80.
Card collectors know there's nothing as special as a rare one-of-one card. And now you can hear a very rare one-of-a-kind sports card show right here on Sactown Sports. Whitey Gleason here inviting you to join me and Mr. True Sports Cards himself, Imran Pilati, for the True Sports Card Show every Saturday morning at 10 on Sactown Sports. It's the only sports card radio show in the nation. For all your hobby needs, get to True Sports Cards, 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland. And for hobby, insight, and fun, join us for the True Sports Card Show Saturday mornings at 10 on Sactown Sports.
Download the app and listen to The Drive Guys.
The Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Alan Stiles.
On Sactown Sports 1140.
10 years ago today, Alan. Remember what happened in the NBA? 10 years ago today. Two very significant things went down on the same night. So significant that ESPN actually, they had one on ESPN, the main, and then the other one they had to put on ESPN 2.
Well, was it 10 years? That's 2016. So was that the Warriors 73-9?
They won their 73rd game on this night. That same night, Kobe Bryant, 60 points in his final NBA game.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that was a little bit of different regular season
I
action.
remember that night. Kyle Ledbetter just came in and reminded us. I remember, I think I had that game on my TiVo. That I was never the biggest Kobe fan. But that night, I remember watching that. I couldn't believe it. I saved that game forever on my TiVo, which it's gone now. But it's just, I got to save that. That was incredible.
Yeah.
Wasn't that when he said, Mamba out?
Mamba out.
Yeah.
Drop the mic.
Uh-huh.
Wow. And now the NBA is getting dog walked by Major League Baseball, golf, the NHL, cricket.
Women's professional volleyball.
Yep. With WNBA draft tonight, probably going to do better than the NBA.
No question.
No question. MLS.
Right?
USL. Is that what it's called?
UFL. Oh, you're talking about soccer.
And the UFL.
Mm-hmm.
Both, actually, just getting absolutely dog walked by them. You hate to see it.
Mm-hmm.
You hate to see it.
They'll turn it all around once the playoffs start. It's going to be a great postseason.
It better be.
Even the playing games are pretty tasty for playing games.
I think that's.
I don't know if they're juicy
Yeah.
by Alan Stiles standards, but they could be very tasty.
Not a lot of juice.
Not a lot of juice, but a lot of like Gino's Pizza Rolls.
Yeah,
that's how I look at these.
Let me look at the matchups one more time. I don't see.
What's
a lot
your
of
go-to?
juice here.
I mean, absolutely best snack available. It's tough to beat Gino's Pizza Rolls, which are now Gino's doesn't make them
I
anymore.
thought it was Totino's.
It is Totino's. It used to be Gino's.
I used to think it was Tostinos, but there's no S.
Right.
Totino's.
You're correct. Gino's is just flashing back on.
I like the pizza rolls.
1970,
but
whatever.
when you say snack, I mean that's a filling snack. That can double as.
I'm talking about. I got to clarify, like something you pop in the oven.
Okay.
Yeah, not just grab a box or.
I mean, the cousin of the pizza rolls, the Costco French bread pizzas. Oh,
okay.
But here's the thing.
Is that like a flatbread or no
Yeah,
French bread?
Yeah, it's like the flatbread. No, French bread pizza. But here's the thing. You got to doctor them up.
Sure.
So I put garlic, pesto.
Yeah, because you're a Giants fan.
Well, yeah.
Giants fans put garlic on everything.
Have you ever been to the Gilroy Garlic Festival?
I've been to Gilroy. I've been to Bonfanti Gardens.
Okay.
You ever been there?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
A lot of garlic out there?
And I went there, and they were, before they had just opened, and they weren't ready to be opened yet. And I went on the radio and complained. And apparently there was a sponsor involved, and I got in some trouble for that. But anyway.
Just like the cameraman.
A long time ago.
From the Masters.
But I've not been to the Gilroy Garlic Festival, no.
Yeah, we everyone says, try the garlic ice cream because it's, they give it to you for free. But the line was so long. We went to the Garlic Festival, didn't have the stupid ice cream.
Wow.
Didn't even have it.
Did you even really go then to the festival?
Literally not.
I don't know if
That's
you can
right.
say that.
That's right. But yeah, I'm going French bread pizza, but you got to doctor it. Then I do a pesto ranch mix, dip it in there. It's golden. Mm-hmm. Golden, Whitey.
Better than the pizza rolls.
Well, the pizza rolls you can just pop. You know what I mean? It's a lot less work. You just pop them. Now
may or may not have had pizza rolls for dinner last week.
Why not?
Maybe.
You earned it.
I'm not saying. Yeah.
You earned it.
It wasn't my idea. I was in favor, but it wasn't my idea.
And then you ruin it with some toothpaste ice cream. That's how you ruin it. Then you don't have to brush your teeth. You just go to bed. After that, you get toothpaste.
Yeah. I don't think we had mint ice cream on Thursday. Kings with all these big contracts they'd like to move. They got young players they want to develop. So where does Devin Carter fit into that mix, in your opinion?
I wish I knew.
Can I tell you what I think? Mm-hmm. No one's told me this, so I don't know this. But I think they look at Devin Carter kind of the same way they looked at Keon Ellis. I'm not sure that they see it. Well, I know he wasn't drafted by Scott Perry. I think they want him to play a lot of point guard. I think they want him potentially as somebody you can use as a sweetener in a deal for one of the bigger names. Young guy, some promise. He's put up some numbers here. Didn't shoot the ball well last night. But that's what I think. And one of the reasons I think that is because it seems like they keep wanting him to play point guard, even though sometimes it looks like, okay, he's not a point guard, but why would you do that? Because that would be nice if he could play point guard, but I think that would drive up his price a little bit. That's my guess here.
That is probably what they're trying to do, and I understand why, trying to sell somebody as a point guard is a lot easier than trying to sell somebody as a 6'2" 2 guard that is kind of hot and cold when it comes to shooting. So I completely get that. I just don't really think how sweet of more of a Splenda or something like that. I don't know how much of a sweetener it is. If Keon was used to get off of Schroeder, which isn't a terrible contract, you're talking about a worse contract with whoever you're trying to move and the lesser value in Devin. So I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just not confident that it'll work.
Yeah. I mean, you can see the pitch like, hey, this is a lottery pick.
Yeah.
Just had 29 points. Really coming along as a point guard, working on that jump shot. I'm guessing. On the other hand, if you can't move him, with what we think next year is going to be, I don't have a problem having him around still to continue some of the improvement that we saw this year.
Well, if
just somebody has to tell him you don't have to shoot the ball every time you touch it.
Yeah, and he
know he had 8 assists last night. I get it.
That's what I'm saying. The point guard thing is so interesting because he will put up random big assist numbers, but it just doesn't look very point guardy. Where you have other guys.
That's because there's times you can tell when he's a willing passer and he's a good passer, but there's times when you can see, he's going to shoot it.
Yeah. Well, it just depends on, I guess how he feels going into the game. I think my question is if you, and I get it because you don't know who you're going to draft, but again, going back to this doesn't even have anything to do with Russell Westbrook at this point, but if you draft a point guard, do you feel more comfortable moving on from Devin Carter or Killian Hayes? Because I don't see a world where you draft Darius Acuff and you keep Devin Carter and Killian Hayes. And you definitely can't keep Russell Westbrook as well. You can't have 4 point guards. You can't have 4 point guards or 4 of the same type of guy, even if Devin isn't really a point guard. Because you still got Nick Clifford.
Yeah. How you basically said you didn't think thered be a lot of demand for Devin Carter right now. I think there'd be more for him than there would be for Killian Hayes.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
So I don't, yeah.
But to start the season, Right. You don't know. I guess
you're looking for somebody to play point.
You're saying if Devin is gone this summer, because Killian, you'd have to make a decision on Killian going into next season because they picked up Devin's option.
Yeah, I like Killian Hayes and I'm rooting for him. Me personally, I'm not sure he played well enough this year where now I'm like, boy, I don't know if I want to keep him or not.
I think you can move on from both of them.
Yeah.
I don't think
I was disappointed your guy didn't play last night, by the way. He was there.
PBJ?
Yes, he was there.
I don't know what this was, man. I don't know why they put my guy in this type of situation. I'm just not understanding what the point of that signing was.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even doing a bit. I just don't know.
Yeah. Let's see here from pool guy Mark. How come the players that actually fit their 6 pillars play defense and kind of make sense for the GM and the coach aren't really wanted to and get cast away? I assume you're talking, Mark, primarily about Keon. It's a good question. Remember, defense is not actually one of the pillars. It's implied, but it's not stated.
Yes. Yeah.
Defense is different. They have the 6 pillars and also a desire to play defense.
Yeah, and I guess I don't really know who is pool guy Mark talking about. Devin Carter.
I think he's talking about Devin Carter. Yeah,
I mean that's fine.
I see his point. He can defend a little bit.
Yeah, we just have, and I know we haven't heard this word in a long time. It's not even about a guard log jam anymore. It's just a roster log jam. They just, because of the injuries, they've added a lot of guys that would not be on this roster. Like Killian Hayes has that, a team option next season. So I don't know that he's going to be on the team.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how about this, Whitey? If you draft Darius Acuff, would you rather have Darius Acuff and Devin Carter, Darius Acuff and Killian Hayes, or Darius Acuff and Russell Westbrook? Like, which one of those combinations would you want?
Well, Devin Carter's an asset. So if I don't have him, then it depends what I can get for him. I still think he's an asset. Killian Hayes, I don't know if he's nothing against him, but I don't think I'm going to get much for him. By the way, we have from the 916, what did we draft Devin Carter for if not to play point guard? Don't know. The guy that drafted him's not here anymore.
Yeah, we will. I guess that's going to remain a mystery.
Mm-hmm. And Chris the mom says, I feel differently than you. I hope Scott will be able to work miracles to keep Russ. That's not because I think he can win a championship for us. No one has adjusted to the Kings as a whole more than Russ. His energy alone was a good start. Wish we could keep DeMar too and have them end their careers and accomplishments as a King. I know that sounds impossible, Chris the mom.
It does sound impossible. And again, that's just me from a roster standpoint. If you want to keep Russ, keep Russ. If you want to keep DeMar, keep DeMar. I just don't see a world where you still have Domantas Sabonis. And maybe the Russ thing, Whitey, is a play-it-by-ear type deal.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we ended up drafting a point guard. We're more likely to keep Russ. All right, we drafted a non-point guard. We're more likely to keep Russ. Okay, we were able to move on from Domantas Sabonis, so we need a vet. Okay, we were able to move on from DeMar DeRozan, so we need a vet. If you're not able to move on from DeMar or Domantas Sabonis, I'm just not understanding. Remember, they got 3 picks this draft. 3. And everybody that they drafted this season is playing. So there's only so many. Let's remember, a normal rotation is about 8 to 9 dudes. Okay? So I think people are kind of forgetting what a normal team looks like when it's healthy.
Here's a really good question here, and we'll take a timeout from the 916. When do we find out the draft lottery positions? Not sure. All we have on that is, and I think this is from The Athletic, the Kings and the Jazz the exact order will be determined by a random drawing soon. So that's all we know. We're keeping our ear to the grindstone, and we'll let you know as soon as we know. Should be happening soon, but we don't yet know exactly when that is going to be. We do know that we have from the A's Dallas Braden at 4 o'clock, and when we come back, the Kings' decision on D.C., not much of a vote of confidence, but at least it's good news for now, and it's next, Sactown Sports.
The San Francisco 49ers play on Sactown Sports 1140.
Touchdown 49ers! Every game on your #1 sports station. Don't miss the action on your local sports leader. Sactown Sports 1140.
When the dollar's convertibility into gold ended in 1971, gold was fixed at $35 an ounce. Fast forward to today, and the U.S. dollar has lost over 85% of its purchasing power Meanwhile, gold has increased in value by over 12,000%. Central banks are buying gold at record levels. Major firms are holding significant positions in gold. And I choose to buy gold from Birch Gold Group. It's Dan Bongino, and it all starts with education. Birch Gold just announced their Learn and Earn Precious Metals event. This free online event rewards you for learning the basics of investing in precious metals. Sign up to get free silver on your next purchase if you qualify. And you can get even larger incentives as you go. The more you learn, the more you can earn. But act now. This special event only runs through April 30th, so text my name Dan to the number 989898 to join Birch Gold's Learn and Earn Precious Metals event by April 30th. Text Dan to 989898 today. Message and data rates may apply.
Meet Morgan Jones. Morgan is about to step into a world unknown to most, thanks to Progressive's Renters Insurance, a place of fresh linens and turn-down service. You see, Morgan temporarily vacated her apartment and has gone to a hotel because a pipe burst in her apartment. A pipe that made her sense of reality and apartment ceiling all come crashing down. Luckily, Morgan checked into Progressive's Protection Zone. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers.
Help DEA keep our communities safe and healthy by participating in National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, Saturday, April 25th. Take action right in your own home by cleaning out your medicine cabinet of unneeded medications. Keep them safe, clean them out, take them back. Find a collection site near you at DEATakeback.com. Do your part to lower overdose deaths and prevent prescription drug misuse before it starts. That's DEATakeback.com.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet, Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Woodland. What's happening for the Declaration of Deals sales event?
There's no better time to upgrade to a new 2026 Ram 1500 Crew Cab with some of the best fuel economy numbers in the segment. Right now you can save up to $15,000 off MSRP and get 2.9% APR with no payments for 90 days.
Wow, that's like savings on savings on savings.
The price of gas has people rethinking what they're driving, and Ram's up to 25 MPG is a win. Plus, thousands in savings with 2.9% interest. Now really is the best time to buy a new Ram truck.
Search, select, and save through our whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Nobody beats Hoblet, period. 15,000 toll net savings includes dealer discount and factory rebates. Discounts may include 1,000 Hoblet trade-in assistance on eligible trade, 1,000 Hoblet business owner bonus with proof of ownership, and 500 on-the-job upfit with eligible upfit. 2.9% financing for 72 months through Stellantis for well-qualified buyers. $15.15 per thousand borrowed. Deferred payments available on approved credit. Interest accrues from data purchase. Cannot be combined with certain incentives. Excludes Ram 1500 ROH and tungsten models. 25 MPG based on EPA published rating. See dealer for details.
More Kings talk to discuss.
Always. And we got you covered. It's the Drive Guys.
How about this here on the text line? Don't keep Devin Carter. He has flashes of good playing, then looks like he's playing high school ball. Move on and make room for someone else. Here's the thing about that, sir, or actually it was Sherry. Thank you, Sherry. Devin Carter is an asset. Your young team, he's shown some promise. I wouldn't want to get rid of anybody just to get rid of them. Make room for someone else. No, if you can get something for him, great. If not, that's what this year and probably next year will be about too, which is seeing if you can get more out of your young players. You have to maximize your assets one way or the other. And he did actually show a lot of improvement in a lot of ways down the stretch of the season.
Yeah, and at this point, this will be his third season in the league.
Yeah.
Well,
2.5 because first year was hurt.
That's right.
Yeah.
Again, you can't do everything. So you just have to choose what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot draft a point guard, still have Neek, who somebody says, 916, is Neek a point guard? He's not a wing. What are we doing? I asked the same thing, 916. You still have Neek, who plays a little bit of
He's an off guard who can play a little point, I think.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So you have him. That's fine. You have him. You still have you draft the point guard. You want to keep Devin, who you picked up his option. You can move on from Killian Hayes. That's fine. But then we're still having conversations about bringing back Russ. You just can't do everything. I'm just hearing everybody.
Don't they have a decision to make on Devin in a fifth year?
I thought, well, no, they picked up his fourth year.
Okay.
So I think he's just there.
Okay. All right. The big news was a report from Sam Amick. Sam Amick's reports are rock solid that the Kings, nothing's official yet, but they will be retaining Coach Doug Christie. Before we talk any more about that, let's hear what Malik Monk had to say today during his exit interview. This is Malik Monk, his thoughts on Doug Christie's first full year as an NBA head coach.
His first year being a head coach, he definitely grew a lot, especially with just talking to the players, coming to us, letting us know things, what we need to do better, like as individuals. So yeah, he grew a lot with that. Then just him being a player, he kind of seen where we was coming from with some things we do, and he kind of adjusted his schedule, adjusted his way of thinking. So yeah, he grew a lot this year.
I think Doug Christie deserves a lot of credit for basically holding it together when this team was going potentially a lot of different ways for a lot of different reasons. Mm-hmm. And I think the veterans end up getting most of the credit for that, DeMar and Russ, but you got to give the coach some credit. I mean, This team had a pretty good vibe about it for a team that won 22 games.
Yeah, I'm not gonna argue with you just to argue with you. I don't know how that pie chart breaks down and how much credit Doug should get versus the vets, and I don't necessarily know how spicy it got in there because, Doug had marching orders. We believe the vets were playing. The vets couldn't win games. The vets couldn't stay healthy. The vets were getting paid handsomely. And then when the vibe shifted, Doug did his best to keep everybody happy. So I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just not sure where the spice. It was just such a weird season. I just don't know where the spiciness would have come from.
Okay, are you suggesting that he shouldn't get credit, as much credit as I want to give him for holding it together? I'm not. When you say I don't want to disagree, I'm not even sure where you're.
I just don't. I just think that it wasn't as. I just don't think it was a very toxic locker room because from day one, everyone kind of understood what it was. So, yeah. And we did hear, and I saw Dave this morning say, we didn't hear about anyone being unhappy. Well, yeah, we did. I'm not going to name names, but we did. It wasn't to the point where get me out of here. But again, somebody's got to want you. What did Mike Dunleavy Jr. say about Kuminga? Yeah, you can want to leave, but there has to be a market for you. And they were able to eventually move him. But I think because all these guys are on bad contracts, what are they going to be salty about? Mm-hmm. There is nowhere for them to go. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Here's what Sam Amick wrote. The rash of significant injuries to the Kings' best players made an already challenging situation worse in the eyes of the team's decision makers and led to the conclusion that Christie deserves more time to prove himself in the position. As such, the choice has been made to keep Christie at the coaching helm for the start of next season and continue the evaluation from there, end quote. That's Sam Amick, but it comes from a source. And to me, it just, okay, they want to keep Doug around, but there seems to consistently be anytime the Kings directly or indirectly are talking about Coach Christie, there's an emphasis on the evaluation process continuing, and there is no emphasis on anything he's actually done.
It almost feels like, hey, this is we're giving him a quote-unquote opportunity. We know, this is not them saying it, but we know that Doug doesn't have a ton of leverage, and he's kind of at our mercy, to be honest with you, and we're making a decision whether he's just going to be eventually a placeholder for our tanking situation or not. It feels like they're saying that because they're not saying anything to combat that.
Well, let's be honest. A lot of people said when they laid out that deal that, all right, he'll probably be there for 2 years, and then they have the option to move off of him. So that's all this says. Obviously next year if something goes wrong, they could move off of him. I think it's the right move. It just doesn't sound like they really are committed to him beyond, let's give him another shot next year.
But they're not.
Clearly.
Look, Whitey.
It's not Scott Perry's guy.
Shouldn't we be appreciating the Kings and Scott Perry, I guess, just because they're being honest? They're not faking it? right? They're not saying a bunch of stuff that they don't really believe.
Maybe, but I still think, okay, sure. But you could give the guy some credit. He is your coach.
He's going to talk to whenever Scott Perry talks. We'll see if he gives. We got one more chance, Whitey. I know he hasn't so far, but he still can.
Mm-hmm.
We know these airwaves, people be listening, so he still can. We'll see.
Yeah, I hope he does.
We'll see.
On the other hand, Doug's a big boy, and he doesn't need, a pat on the head to understand where he is and what he needs to do. I get that, too.
Yeah, I think that's the other side of it. There's only so many of these jobs. We're giving you another chance here after a bad season, injuries, all that. What else do you want? There's different types of dads out there, and parents in general. Some dads are, hey, son, you're the best. I love you. Other dads are, I love them, but I can't tell them that.
And this also, again, this is what someone apparently told Sam, and Sam reports it, and no doubt he reports it accurately. But again, it echoes that narrative that, we were better than last year, but we had a lot of injuries.
How much?
Yeah. We have more talent than that. We're a better team than that. We couldn't get anything accomplished because of all the injuries. So
again, and we know some games were squirrely. Vegas had him. I saw him at 36.5. I saw him at 34. Either way, you're not in the play-in. How many wins are we adding to this healthy team? 20? That seems high. 20 will get you in the play-in, but that seems high. 15?
Now, you mentioned you thought somebody was unhappy. I don't know who you're talking about, but let's hear some Zach LaVine. Jay, I know I said we weren't going to play that. Are you able to do that, Jay? Yeah, hear a little Zach LaVine. Interesting that he met with the media today, of course, his exit interviews. But he talked about his future, and a lot of people are wondering, with all these veterans, are you going to be back next year? Here's Zach LaVine on where things stand for him now that this season is over.
I have a lot of control, I'll go back and talk to my representative and figure out what's the best course of action. I think that goes along with him as well. What's most important to you right now, and what makes sense. And obviously having a player option is it's a good thing in my camp. So we'll go back and look at everything, look at all the scenarios, watch playoffs, and see what happens.
So maybe he won't, Alan, pick up the player option, right? That's what he's saying. He and his agent going to look things over. Go watch the playoffs. Why would you watch the playoffs?
I thought about that. I thought he threw that in there.
Yeah.
He threw that in there. Watch the playoffs, see what playoff team might be needing some three-point shooting next season, and go from there.
Yeah.
I don't know, Whitey. I know it sounds insane to turn down 49.5. There is still a world if somebody were to give them that money over the course of 2 years or 3 years. There is a world where that happens. I don't know if that is real. 2 years, $25 million a year.
I've always been a fan of his. I've never thought he was a great fit here. I hope for his sake he moves on. I understand the money. Won't blame him if he says, I'm picking up the option. Don't blame him. But I hope for his sake and the team's sake that he decides, finds a better situation somewhere and says, yeah, I'm going to go do this.
Yeah.
Because I just think it's kind of a dead end here. But if, it's a lot of money, and bless him if that's what he wants to do, I would certainly understand that.
Yeah, I don't know. Like you said, it's not my money, but if you're going to watch the playoffs, as you said, on purpose.
I'll watch playoffs.
If you can cut that, if I were him, I'd say I can't do 3 years, but I could do 2. If somebody's going to give me 25 over 2, let's talk.
Yeah. We got a lot more in the Kings coming up, but when we come back, the A's back in Sacramento, and they're in first place. With more on that, one of the best analysts in baseball, Dallas Braden. He will join us to break down this great road trip for the A's next. Sactown Sports.
Download the Sactown Sports app.
Sacramento sports in your pocket. This is Sactown Sports 1140.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
In conversation with Dr. Bob Jones IV, I asked him what the most significant contribution his grandfather Bobby Jones had made to the world of golf. Jones IV replied that there's no part of the game as we know it today that was not in some way influenced by Bobby Jones, and called him the most singularly important individual to have played the game. Why do we have 4 major championships? Because Bobby Jones won 4. When the professionals wanted to add a 4th professional major, they chose the Masters, a tournament founded by Bobby Jones on the course Jones built at the club he co-founded. Jones IV says the USGA's highest honor is the Bob Jones Award for Sportsmanship. Bobby Jones changed equipment, he changed golf writing, he created golf instructional videos in 1932 that are still state-of-the-art today, and he did all this without forgetting the average golfer. No part of the game has not had the mark of Bobby Jones, says his grandson Bob Jones IV, and no argument here. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
A multi-billion-dollar settlement is paying claims for up to 21 years. If you were exposed to weed killers at work or at home, your rights are affected. If you or your family has or had non-Hodgkin lymphoma, you could receive $6,000 to $165,000 or more. This settlement impacts you even if you're not sick, because this blood cancer can take 10 to 15 years to appear. If you stay in the settlement, you give up your right to sue. Learn more at weedkillerclass.com or call 888-403-8201. Paid for by the Roundup Settlement.
Did you try my Colombian tamales? They're delicious.
Yes, but the Mexican tamales I brought are better.
Colombian tamales wrapped in plantain leaves are unmatched, you know.
But the Mexican tamales wrapped in corn husks are the authentic ones.
At least we can agree that they taste better with Pepsi.
Without a doubt. Can you pass me a straw?
You mean a pitillo?
Tamales deserve Pepsi.
Card collectors know there's nothing as special as a rare one-of-one card. And now you can hear a very rare one-of-a-kind sports card show right here on Sactown Sports. Whitey Gleason here inviting you to join me and Mr. True Sports Cards himself, Emran Pilati, for the True Sports Card Show every Saturday morning at 10 on Sactown Sports. It's the only sports card radio show in the nation. For all your hobby needs, get to True Sports Cards, 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland. And for hobby, insight, and fun, join us for the True Sports Card Show Saturday mornings at 10 on Sactown Sports.
At Big O, our ProTech Plus warranty offers free flat repairs, replacements, and roadside assistance. So tire trouble is no trouble at all. Now through May 5th, get $50 to $100 instant savings on 4 select in-stock Cooper, Hankook, or selected Pirelli brand tires with installation purchase. Plus get an extra $50 in rebates when using your Big O Tires and Service credit card. Big O Tires, the team you trust. Installation required. Disposal fees and shop fees extra where permitted. See store for pricing. Eligibility may vary. Not valid with other offers.
KHTK HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports. Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
We all know that when the Kings season ends, as sports fans, for a while, typically in Sacramento, we wander in the wilderness a little bit. Obviously, this offseason should be compelling. We're excited about that, and we're interested in the NBA playoffs. And, you know, keep an eye on what's going on with the 49ers and the Giants. But now we've got baseball in town, Alan, and we've got a first-place team that calls West Sacramento their home.
That's right.
And maybe people are going to get excited about that.
They definitely should. They definitely should.
Nice enough to join us with more on that. This gentleman, I just love the fact that he combines his love of baseball with a special appreciation for the people who play it. And I think he may be the only man ever to both throw and broadcast a perfect game. A's analyst Dallas Braden. How are you today, Dallas?
I'm doing well, boys. How you doing?
We're doing fine. It's a pleasure to talk to the pride of the 209. Tell us about this trip. What stood out to you the most about the A's successful trip? How about that bullpen?
Bullpen's great. New York still smells. Still a lot of trash everywhere. But no. In all honesty, I thoroughly enjoy going to New York. The fans, I appreciate their passion for their team, for their sports in general. So it's always a fun atmosphere. To your point, though, the bullpen. I mean, look, I think if we start from the very beginning of the season and we evaluate what sort of teams were on the schedule through the first 15 games, the fact that we had the road trip we did to start, right? Toronto, Atlanta, you come home for 72 hours. You basically don't even get to unpack. And then you hit the road again. Each and every one of those teams between the Blue Jays, the Braves, the Astros here at home, and then you go to New York and you play the Yankees and the Mets. Each and every one of those teams either has divisional aspirations to be the lead dog at the end of the race or to be contending for that division and at least playoff hopes. And so when you think about the daunting road trip, the tough competition, I'm not sure anybody had a tougher start to the season when you look at the first 2 weeks or so. And for the Athletics to come off the road with a winning record and having the signs of life in the areas that they do, and as you just alluded to, the bullpen, that's about as bright of a positive spot as we could be looking at right now. And I think there's a couple guys that you have to tip your cap to. One, Elvis Alvarado. Two, Joel Kuhnel. I mean, look, there's other guys, Scott Barlow. I could honestly go down the list. Sterner. I mean, we saw Medina come out of the bullpen today. I mean, you want to stare down 100 miles an hour when you're down 6? That's no fun for anybody. And the Athletics have a couple of those options down there in the bullpen. So all in all, what the bullpen was able to string together on the backs of some great starting pitching performances as well, it was a complete and total team effort on the road trip. Here's what I want to remind folks of. Not only were we not at full strength, unfortunately having lost Brent Rooker, but you also have not seen this offense win games in the way that they're typically going to win baseball games, or at least that I think fans got used to watching them win baseball games. And what was nice is the game that Nick Kurtz hits his first home run of the season. That was all the offense provided, but it was outstanding defense that you got from Nick Kurtz, as well as Jeff McNeil in the return home to Citi Field. So to watch the team click on each and every cylinder you're going to need to pump to be successful all season long, that's what I took away from this road trip.
Dallas, we've had a couple different A's players on and, A's beat writers, and they seem to bring up that rough stretch that the A's had last season, and they say if not for that rough stretch where it was 20 games, whatever it was, the A's had a really good season. Because of that, even though the A's finished, a couple games, 10 games below 500, does it feel like last season isn't actually an indication of where this team is or where this team is headed this season?
That is more than a fair assessment. And I know, look, trust me, I've been beating that same drum. And I think it's an obvious statement in rebuttal to say, oh, so let me guess. If you didn't lose the games you lost, you would have been a better team. Yeah. No, I get it.
That pencils out. Yeah, that does pencil out, Dallas.
But the idea is how many people go through those types of stretches, how many teams go through those types of stretches. And I think understanding that was just not who this team is. And look, unfortunately, it happened because there were some guys that were extreme bright spots and extremely dominant early on that unfortunately just kind of ran out of gas early, and those no longer became options that you can go to in the bullpen. Other guys get exposed. Other guys have a bunch of pressure added to them, yada, yada, yada. We understand how things shake out. But to your point about that not being who they are, I think Nick Kurtz said it best here recently, which was, we just played baseball the way we know we're capable of playing, and we played it in the way that we expect to play. And I will always go back to the fact that they're still not clicking on all cylinders offensively, which is a very, very scary thought. But what you have seen is different guys in the lineup step up at different times. Max Muncy barreling baseballs all over the yard. Carlos Cortez barreling baseballs all over the yard. Did so against the Mets, against the team who said, you know what, Carlos Cortez, throw him on the scrap heap, don't need him. And we said, oh, well, we'd love to have that dude because he's versatile. He puts together quality at bats. And if we're going to plug him at the bottom of the lineup and we're going to get what we expect to get from him, we feel pretty good about it. And I tell you right now, I feel pretty good about what Carlos Cortez brings to the table when he's in the lineup. So I love everything that this team has done, and the idea that they're not even quite hitting their stride yet, that's the fun part about it.
That's former Athletic, former Stockton Port, former ARC Beaver, for that matter, Dallas Braden, nice enough to join us. Dallas, with all the ups and downs and the trials and tribulations that eventual relocation have put the A's through, do you think in some ways that's brought the club closer together as teammates?
Well, it forces you to pay attention to the task at hand even more so, right? There's things each and every day that we all wake up and we understand we can't control, and in one way or another we try to control the controllables. And that's at work, that's in life, that's specifically here geared towards what these individuals are charged with each and every day, right? Their individual routines, preparation, resting and recovering. Those are the things that these guys can control. They don't control who's putting a shovel where. They don't control who's erecting a stadium where. That is totally out of their control. So if there's going to be outside noise that starts to rumble, the best thing that they can do is put the earplugs in, put the horse blinders on, tighten ranks, and go to work. And I think there's personalities all throughout that room who understand that on different levels, and the leadership brings those boys in. The youthful exuberance gets everybody excited about what they're doing, and it takes about 10 minutes to forget where you're at and forget what you're doing outside of trying to win baseball games. And so I think it, without a doubt, has been something that they've been able to translate and turn into a positive.
We know about Denzel Clark, probably had the catch of the year last season, but just in general, Dallas, do we, the collective we, the baseball world we, do we not talk about the A's defense enough?
I think that's a fair point. I think because the defense at times was maybe a low spot, it's understandable how that can be overlooked. But I do want to remind folks that there's been a shift on the staff. Bobby Crosby, former Rookie of the Year, shortstop, former teammate of mine. You plug that guy into the mix, and I know that he's as hard of a worker, as diligent of a worker. I've watched it firsthand as a teammate and as a player, and then I got to watch it unfold through spring training on the minor league side. I've been fortunate enough to work with our minor leaguers over the last handful of years in spring training. This year was the first year that I went to big league camp as an instructor and spent time in big league camp the entire time. And so I got to watch closely how Crosby works with these guys on a day in, day out basis, the preparation. So there's a level of expectation that comes along with a guy who has played at the highest level, who has the accolades to show you, hey, I know what it takes to grind, and I know what happens when you do. There's going to be results here. So holding these guys accountable and allowing them to create routines and develop routines on their own, maybe instead of putting them in a cookie cutter type of situation, these guys have flourished. These guys have really developed, and I think it's still early to say that we've seen the best baseball or the best defense that we're going to see. It's April, boys. It's April. Yeah. We got a lot of meat left on this bone. But Nick Kurtz, what we saw against the Mets, frankly, what we saw the entire road trip, he made a massive play. Sixth inning, you're down, you got a one-run lead, you got guys on base, Lindor's over at third, ground ball hit to him. He's got to make three decisions in one. Do I want to go for the double play and allow the game to get tied up? Do I want to go and step on my bag because the double play might not be an option? Or do I want to wait for Lindor to get just far enough off the bag so I can make a high-risk, high-reward effort, throw him out at third base, keep the win in place, and then eventually go on to win the ballgame? And he made the right decision. It was a great play. And those are things that you want to see players do. If they're not able to do what they want to do offensively, he's answered the bell with the leather.
Mm-hmm. That's Mr. Get Off My Mound, Dallas Braden. You mentioned Bobby Crosby years ago, Dallas, when he was here as a river cat. He visited the station, actually got to play wiffle ball with Bobby Crosby. Dallas, don't hang a slider to Bobby Crosby in wiffle ball. I'll just give you that piece of advice.
Fair point. Fair point. I'd probably just drill him at this point.
There you go. There you go. This may be a dumb question, but I was wondering here, Jeffrey Springs is amazing to me. How many similarities are there in the way Jeffrey Springs gets hitters out and the way you got hitters out?
Very similar, and I think that's why Jeffrey Springs and I have developed a pretty good relationship.
Okay.
He was the guy that I really followed around last year during my time in big league camp. This year, my time in camp. I've been afforded a great opportunity to go and watch bullpens day in and day out. I get to go and watch these guys up close and personal. And I see the study habits that they have, and I see the way that they apply the information that they receive. And he's a cerebral individual. He has boxes he wants to check mechanically. He understands who his opponent is. And I think when you know that you don't have the margin for error that maybe some other guys in the game do, that kind of heightens your sense of awareness of what guys are trying to do to you. And that was something that I understood, and that was something that I valued, was knowing my opponent almost better than I know myself. And because you are going to be able to utilize the fastball to keep guys off balance, I know that might sound weird, but when you are throwing fastballs in counts where guys are probably sitting soft, when you're taking ownership over the inside part of the plate, when you throw 92, 93. Now, we've seen Springy pop a 4 here and there, but the bottom line is he's done a great job working the fastball around, which is something I like to do, because you could wake this dude up in December and he could drop 3 straight changeups on you either side of the plate and walk away feeling pretty good about it. He's got a great feel for when to throw the slider, when to throw the bigger sweeper to try to steal a strike, maybe third time through the lineup, which is something that I like to do. So anytime he takes the ball, anytime he's on the mound, I make sure to get an extra bag of popcorn, because I'm about as excited as anybody else in the building to watch that dude go to work.
Mm-hmm. Alan, that's what I tried with Bobby Crosby. I tried to keep him off balance with my fastball, but it didn't work.
Again, just drill him. Just drill him.
On balance, White. He seemed like he was very much on balance there.
He was, yeah.
Dallas, this might be a bit of a homer question, and I don't mean it in that way. I mean it legitimately. Is there a team in the league, off the top of your head, with more young talent than the A's?
I think you'd be hard-pressed to find one, if we're being honest. You know, there's been a lot of talk over the recent years about what the Baltimore Orioles had cooking. And I think it's fair to say at this point in time that young core has aged out of being the young superstars that they were. I think there's been some guys that have been slow to develop. And with that being said, you start to avert your eyes elsewhere. I really like what we have going on from a core standpoint. And when you think about what's coming from a pitching perspective as well, that's all the more reason to be excited. But when you can look across the diamond and you can look out in left field and name Tyler Soderstrom, you can look in center field and name Denzel Clark. You know who's out in right field. That's the Log Dog patrolling. When you've got a guy like Max Muncy, Jacob Wilson, Nick Kurtz, Shea Langoliers behind the plate, I'm not sure that there is another team, another roster as chock full of young primo talent than what the Athletics are running out there on a day-in, day-out basis. And just a tip of the cap to my man Shea Langoliers behind the plate. Do you guys understand what it takes to go on the road trip and perform the way that he did? He wants to play in every single ball game. He plays 2 long games and then is up for the day game against the Mets, makes the long 6-hour trek back home last night and is in the lineup again tonight. That is a leader in every sense of the word. That's a guy who, when he walks into the room, you automatically start to check your pockets, check the watch. Where am I at? Am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing? Because I know what this dude's doing. I need to be somewhere. I need to get somewhere. I need to go get better somewhere. And each and every one of those dudes follows that example. And the fact that they are as young as they are and are already learning those kind of habits, man, I think the rest of the league is in for it here over the next handful of years plus.
Well, Dallas, we'll let you go with this one. And I know, as you said, we've got a long ways to go, and I know I'm getting carried away. But if the A's reach the postseason, that could be the stuff of a Hollywood movie, maybe Moneyball 2. Who do you want to – I know I'm ahead of the game here. Who does Dallas Braden want to audition to play the part of Dallas Braden? What actor?
Oh, man. There's so many good-looking, strapping individuals out there. It's really hard for me
I know.
Probably hard for me to pick one, because those guys probably like their jobs, and I don't know who's lining up to play this goon. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure I have. What's Edward Norton doing these days? Is him and I have. Yeah, maybe Edward Norton. I think Brad Pitt's all tapped out on the Moneyball situation.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, we'll get working on that for you. Yeah, we'll, just in case. Long ways to go, but just in case.
That's right.
Thank you, Dallas. We appreciate your time very much. Enjoy this series.
Anytime, boys. Thanks for having me.
Dallas Braden.
I like that answer.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
That was a good one. You could tell he's like, I don't know, but he wanted to give us something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And he didn't want to go, too over the top.
Yeah. At least, I mentioned Bobby Crosby playing wiffle ball. Burnsy said, I'm not doing that. He said, if somebody strikes me out, that's all I'll ever hear about.
Right.
I'm not going to go out there and play wiffle ball.
That's what's so funny, what people had said as they've gone back and forth with that NBA All-Star one-on-one thing. Somebody gets dropped. It's all over.
Yeah.
So even the slam dunk. It's just these situations where I'm not going to open myself to possibly being embarrassed.
Right.
Even if it's in wiffle ball.
Uh-huh. Wiffle ball can be very humbling.
I saw a clip. I don't know what league it was, but this dude was throwing cheddar.
Yeah.
I mean, and the ball is all over the place. They got the ABS, Connect 4 kind of strike zone. They're just smoking it off the box. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, if I ever face Bobby Crosby again, I'm going to buzz the tower.
That's
I'm
right.
Say, Dallas Braden told me to do it.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Just write Dallas on the wiffle ball.
Uh-huh.
This is from Dallas.
Yeah. You a little excited about a 4-game series for first place at all?
Oh, yeah. I'm in.
Uh-huh.
Sign me up.
It would be great if they play meaningful games all summer, and this is just part of that. So it's not just, don't overreact to anything that happens in April, but, as long as they can avoid losing 19-20 like last year, I don't think it's a stretch to say they could be in that wild card race because you have a winning record. You're basically in the wild card race.
Right. And it's based on how you finish. And you know me. I don't know when I'm not a Mariners hater, but I'm not necessarily a believer that they're just going to be I don't believe that they're going to be the Astros for the next 5 years.
Are you a Mariners strong disliker? Maybe
no, not at all.
Okay.
I just don't believe that they're going to run the AL West like the Astros did for the last, decade. I don't believe that.
All right. Yeah. So baseball tonight. Then we got the play-in coming up. That's tomorrow, right? The play-in tournament.
Man, I can't wait.
Yeah, then we'll get going with the playoffs. I think, Alan, and we'll get back to the Kings and the exit interviews, but when future generations look back on this NBA season, I think they're going to go, what was that? And I know you mentioned it earlier, New Orleans, Dallas, Memphis, Sacramento, Utah, Brooklyn, Indiana, and Washington all had 55 or more losses. 3 teams with Detroit, OKC, and San Antonio with 60 or more wins. And it is, as I mentioned, with all those teams struggling, first season in NBA history in which 8 teams had a winning percentage of .333 or worse.
The play-in tournament, it's funny because as much as people say that they don't like the play-in tournament or it didn't help anything, I don't know what the ratings have looked like. But you're right, Whitey. I mean, there's nothing else on TV at the time for basketball, right?
Clippers-Warriors for a play-in game.
Right.
Like, I'm watching that.
Right. I mean, they've gotten lucky with some of the play-in combinations that they've had in the past. And, of course, it's the Miami Heat Invitational, so they'll have to go to Charlotte to take on the Hornets.
They should just call the play-in the Miami Heat Invitational.
Literally.
Yeah.
As much as people bag on the play-in, I do think a lot of people are interested when it's on. I think this season in particular, because a lot of people are high on the Hornets, but I know seasons past, when it's been Hawks, Heat, all right, none of them are doing anything. It all comes back to that word that I always harp on, and it's branding. You look at this season, a lot of people like LaMelo, a lot of people like Khan. So I think that Heat-Hornets game is interesting because the Hornets haven't been good in a while. Trailblazers, Suns is kind of whatever, but like you said, you get Warriors, Clippers. I think Magic 76ers isn't doing much, but you still get Warriors, Clippers, and, what Warriors win, Clippers win. I think it's better if the Warriors win. They're either going to get that Blazers team or they get a party at Club Phoenix with Devin Booker. So I think the play-in does vary from year to year. Mm-hmm. I don't think it helps with how people are trying to construct their teams, but I do think that more people, fans, and media that bag on the play-in still watch.
Here's why the play-in works as well as it has. I think it has worked. And again, it's one of those, new wrinkles that when it was developed, I said, that's stupid. That'll never work. And then I watched it, it's like, oh, this is pretty good. But again, it's because the games matter so much where, especially when it's like the loser's out.
Yeah.
I know when you have 7-8, the loser gets another chance and all that, but still, there's a lot at stake.
I mean, especially a season like this, Whitey, I think the play-in might do better than it normally does because we haven't seen any urgency on a basketball court in what feels like 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a lot of people are just kind of yearning for that.
Right.
And you're going to get it tomorrow.
Yeah, because we got Portland against the Suns, right? So the Clippers-Warriors loser is bye-bye, night-night.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
It's over.
Uh-huh.
They're going to be out of here.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and I don't know. I thought initially it would be better for the Warriors to not have to face the Clippers, but the Clippers just lose games, man. They just lose a lot of games. So I don't know what's going to happen.
Well, they had that horrible start. What are they, 35-19
something
or something like that?
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah, and I think Ty Lue, when they got off the bad start, he said, we're just going to have to try to find a way to go 35-20. And they pretty much did.
Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah, and all comes down to they play on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
So, holding out for the big boys, I guess.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you're suggesting that perhaps, and I know you're not the first to suggest this, perhaps the Warriors bring an element of tanking to the play-in? Ooh, that would be
I just
that would be bad for the league.
I mean, how do you have they said it. Steph is on a minutes restriction. So how else are we supposed to look at that?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Seems like we know, basically they're saying we know we're not doing anything, so we're not going to chance injuring our 37-year-old star.
Yeah. I don't know how they're going to play it. I'm not suggesting, I'm not implying one thing or the other that I don't know, but you could see how a team in a similar position would say, we're actually better off being out of the playoffs and maybe having a shot, even a slim shot, at a really high pick than we are marching into the playoffs and getting destroyed.
Well, even from the Steph perspective, right? When we all do like you said, it's the anniversary of the Kobe Bryant 60-point game, the Mamba mentality. I mean, even Steph is saying this is a waste of time, right? Because shouldn't Steph be the guy? No, you'll have to cut my leg off. I'm going to play. Doesn't sound like that's the case.
I think he was surprised. It might have been Slate's when he was told how often they've been in the play-in over the last few years. I think he was going, oh, really? We've been in it that much? Kind of taken aback a little bit.
Yeah.
For a franchise that's all about winning championships.
Well, a couple teams got better, and you cannot coast to the 5 seed anymore. You can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not possible. And you can't stay healthy. So I understand why they're doing it, but I do think it's funny because for all of the criticism that the league has taken this season, the Warriors are essentially admitting that the play-in is not a viable option to win a championship.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least they don't believe they can win a championship. And this knee thing seems to be a real issue.
Yeah. When you look at the Kings and where they're trying to get to, I know last night on the telecast, Drapes mentioned that somebody from Portland told him, hey, you kind of remind us of us. Kings remind us in Portland of the Blazers. But how far along is that? I mean, is that something you want to emulate? Do you think the Blazers have reason to feel like, all right, this thing's coming along? Because they're only, 42-40?
I'll tell you what, Scoot had some.
Yeah, he did.
Some scoop.
Mm-hmm.
He did. He hit some threes too, but I don't know. They're all in the play, and all these playing teams that are quote unquote on the way up. You're probably more confident in the Hornets, more so because they're in the Eastern Conference. But both those teams, like the Hornets, were the darling of the. And are they both? They're both the 7 or 8 seed. Hornets were the darling of the season. They're in the play-in.
Mm-hmm.
They could not even make the playoffs.
Yeah, it is kind of sobering, huh? When we look at the Kings and, wow, someday you'll be where those teams are. Those teams aren't that great.
Man, look at what the Blazers did, and they spent all this time taking to be in the play-in.
Yeah.
Which is where I guess you're not supposed to be. But these...
Well, as long as they're continuing to progress.
Right.
And their question is Denny the guy? We need the guy. Everybody needs the guy. Do we have the guy? Do we still need to look for the guy?
Yeah.
He's pretty good.
And they are the only team in the league to outdo the Kings as far as the guard logjam situation.
Mm-hmm.
They have 8,000 guards.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I watched Portland play like last night. I feel like that's a pretty good team. But only 42 wins? It's tough. It's tough out in the West.
Yeah. And that's why, however the Kings plan on doing this will be fascinating because they can't slow play it at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What did DeMar DeRozan have to say today at his exit interview? How about Keegan Murray? We're going to hear from them coming up here with the Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Download the Sactown Sports app.
Sacramento sports in your pocket. This is Sactown Sports 1140.
If you don't care about saving 50% off your wireless bill for the same 5G coverage the big guys are charging a fortune for, maybe you care about keeping jobs in America. Pure Talk does. They've pledged to run their entire operation from this country, including all their customer service. Or maybe you care about our nation's veterans. Pure Talk does. They've donated hundreds of thousands of dollars to America's Warrior Partnership, a fantastic organization working hard to prevent veteran suicide. Or maybe you care about closing America's skills gap. Pure Talk does. They're a proud supporter of MicroWorks. They're helping my foundation train the next generation of skilled workers. Don't get me wrong. Saving money's great, and you'll save plenty with Pure Talk. But if you want to be in business with people who share your values, dial pound 250. Say micro, and switch to an American wireless company that actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
With Popeye's new $6 faves menu, you can get this 3-piece chicken, this 3-piece tenders, this chicken sandwich, or these 2 regular sides for just $6 a piece. I know you can't see what I see, but trust me, those bold Louisiana flavors look so good, you might just have to get them all. Now there's an idea.
Love that chicken from Popeyes.
Limited time at participating U.S. restaurants. Price may vary. Terms apply.
The Bedroom Collection Sale is on at Scandinavian Designs. For a limited time, shop dreamy deals on all bedroom furniture, including beds, dressers, nightstands, and more. This is your chance to splurge on a new piece or upgrade your entire sleep space with a fresh, modern look. Stop by one of our local showrooms or shop online at ScandinavianDesigns.com. Scandinavian Designs. We make it simple. You make it home.
Live and local, it's The Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
We just had a nice conversation with Dallas Braden. I love the fact that Dallas Braden, I remember talking to him when he played. He loves baseball, played it at a high level, and he just has so much appreciation for the people that play it as well.
Yes.
You know? Yeah. If you didn't know, you'd almost think, oh, that guy's a great fan. Well, he threw a perfect game, too.
Right. You can definitely tell that he's a really good example, especially to be a part of what the A's got going on. He's kind of the perfect person for the job because he's a really good example of living in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and when you see, all right, all this stuff is happening and where are we going to be and what's going on here? I feel like when you tune into an A's broadcast, he's really good at just focusing on the here and now. Because as he said, you can't control where the shovels are, getting stuck and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. I think he's also a great teammate as a player and also as a broadcaster because he spent a lot of time with some really young broadcasters who are more experienced now, but I'm thinking of his early days with the A's. And he was always there to pick up his teammates.
Yeah, that's what you need.
Yeah. Although he did kind of stick it. Wasn't it Chris Carey who didn't know the ball was a home run last year in Houston? Remember that?
Or was that Jenny?
No,
it was Carey.
It was, yeah.
Oh.
And Dallas did kind of have to let him know. Well, he said, and that ball is foul? Well, you could see from the outfielder that it was a home run.
Yeah. I remember that one. Oh, well, sometimes, you got to have some fun with it.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hopefully the A's will have some fun this week with the Texas Rangers coming in. And I know Allen's Rivercats left the field in pristine condition because they didn't play.
They did not play. Could have, should have, would have. Still don't have. Yeah, I don't know if it was connected to the A's at all. But I don't know, Whitey. Who do you think gets who makes that call? Because a lot of them are doubling, right? The field ops, they're doubling as both. They don't bring in a whole new field op.
Yeah, that's a good question. I think on some level you got to have some coordination between MLB and the PCL, and I understand MLB gets precedence, but still they can't just say, hey, yeah, we're not playing your games. Well, wait, what? So,
Right.
Yeah.
What? One more year? Maybe two.
Maybe two. Who knows?
Who knows?
Beyond that.
Maybe none, according to Carmichael Dave.
Speaking of veterans who are great teammates, especially for the younger players, DeMar DeRozan had his exit interview today. DeMar is really, he's very thoughtful in his responses, huh? A guy of his caliber could very easily just kind of, I don't know. I just, I'm just out there playing. But he really, and Russ did the same thing today. Both of them really thought about their answers and were very giving and forthright. Here's DeMar DeRozan on how difficult this season was for him and the Kings.
It's tough, man. So many guys out. We started out the season without a key guy. Another key guy dropped. It was like thing after thing after thing, trying to make adjustments in the midst of, feeling like you sinking in a deep hole by losing, games, frustration, so many emotions. Definitely was a lot going on.
Yeah, so they were thinking they were going to win some games this year.
They did. And I wonder when, I don't know, they were never healthy, but I wonder when for them internally it turned into, man, this might not be a good year for us. Because looking back, I'd have to look at the scores, Whitey, to really realize, and I think we talked about this last week. Was it December? I think December is a good barometer for a lot of teams where you say, all right, we're a couple months in. It's still early, but we're going to have to get hot. We're going to have to get real hot, and I don't know if we got a hot streak in us.
Here's DeMar DeRozan's thoughts on Coach Doug Christie's first full year as a head coach in the NBA.
I don't know if a lot of people don't know. I've known Doug since I was probably 20 years old. Got a chance to meet him long time ago. And even when I came here, having the opportunity to work with him my whole summer before I came to Sac, the love and appreciation and respect I got for Doug, man, is through the roof. I told Doug, when he got the job, every time I go out there and play, I want to, leave it all out there on the floor for him. So I'm always happy for him. Regardless, I want the best for him. I want him to strive and be very successful in this business of basketball when it comes to being a head coach. So, that's what it is. That's what it is.
Yeah, he's got some of his players behind him.
And
there would have been a mutiny if they had moved off Doug Christie.
Well, and I don't want to say there are certain players that obviously have more juice than others, and it feels like the players that have the most juice.
That's a good point.
Are the ones that are, as well as the ones that don't have the most juice with the rookies.
No, I know what you mean. It's like, how do you guys feel about your head coach? I don't know, DeMar, how do we feel about our head coach? I've known him forever and love him. We love him.
Right. Yeah. So this was, again, it was always the move. And I don't know, Whitey, I know you keep talking about the front office and others giving Doug that level of confidence. And Doug has said,
I really think they could be a little more supportive with their public comments. That's how I feel.
Maybe they feel like, hey, the team is doing it for us. Hey, whatever the team feels, we feel. They're making it easy for us. I don't know. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah. If it's, hey, we're evaluating him still. We couldn't evaluate him on this year. All right. You could say, that said, we really are pleased with some of the things he did. But no, we don't hear that. At least I haven't heard it.
Maybe we'll get that said.
And I know maybe I don't know, there's a lot of fans that apparently are really down on Doug Christie. Like, it's his fault that they only won 22 games or something.
Well, no. It's his fault that they won. You could say it both ways. It's his fault that they only won 22 games, or it's his fault that they won as many as 22 games. Because they're all the fans out there that think that he ruined the tank. He ruined the tank. Scott Perry and Vivek were sitting in a suite saying, no, stop winning games. And Doug said, nah, I'm going to keep winning games. And then they said, you know what? You didn't listen to us. We're going to bring you back next year. Dang it. That's what some fans think. It makes absolutely no sense. 0 sense. No, he stopped listening to us. For that, you get another year.
I think if you're Coach Christie, and let's say you see that too, I don't know that he does. I doubt that he does. Your play is, well, okay, no matter, they're bringing me back. It's, there aren't that many jobs left, and things come together for us. We could be a good team next year. And then I can force their hand. Just if this team wins, they're not going to want to move off of me. Obviously, that's how it works from his end.
You know what's funny?
I'm just going to control what I can control because I heard Dallas Braden on with the Drive guys.
Control the controllables. You know what's funny? I wonder what Doug hopes happens to the roster. Because obviously, if they're able to gut this thing, you get a fresh start, you get a top pick, you're probably not going to be good again, and your record is already tanked, but no pun intended, but it could be worse. If they aren't able to move on or choose not to move on from some of the vets, would Doug say, cool, I'd prefer that because I have a better chance to win games? It's almost as if we say this all the time, Whitey. Nowadays in radio with ratings and YouTube and social media, what are the metrics of success for Doug going into next season? I don't know if he knows.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Scott Perry knows. Not yet.
Mm-hmm. How did DeMar enjoy playing with all these young players this year? He talked about that today. It sounds like he had a heck of a time doing it.
I mean, the excitement being around young guys, seeing them walk into training camp the first day, seeing how tired they are the second day, the third day, seeing them hit all sorts of type of rookie walls. Seeing them complain about the first long road trip, seeing them eating chicken nuggets on the road, not knowing what to order. So, after months go by and you see them, grow just a little, and see them get better at something that you told them 2 months prior, and they do something that you told them, it brings a different type of excitement, when they do it in a game, or when they learn something, or when they ask the right questions. That excitement, give us the energy that we need, makes things fun. You got to find things like that throughout the season, especially a tough season, where you can lean on and kind of build off that for self and, for them as well. So they made it fun, they made it exciting. A lot of funny jokes came from our group chats, teasing the young guys, and they keep us going, they keep us young.
And then I think it was Brendan asked him, "Can you tell us any of those jokes?" And he said, "No, he said, "No, I cannot tell you any of those.
No.
Any of those jokes." Ba 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 ba. How about those chicken nuggets?
That's a good one. Well, I'm just wondering, when he said that, clearly they're not at McDonald's, so they're at nice places or nicer places.
Yeah.
They don't know what to order, so they say, "Can I have some chicken tenders?"
Look, sounds like he enjoyed it. If he wants to be here, why not bring him back?
Bring back one of them.
Why not bring them both back?
You know what it is? Being a parent, right?
Uh-huh.
Take a kid to the store. I take her in the toy aisle.
Don't make me choose between my two favorite uncles.
No. You get one.
Okay.
You want a popsicle or ice cream sandwich? Daddy, I want both. You get one. Pick which one. That's what I'm saying to the Kings. Westbrook, DeMar DeRozan, you get one. Pick which one.
Okay, but if Russ comes in and says, "Yeah, I'm not going to break the bank here. DeMar's contract is not that hefty. If you can move off of some of the other deals, why not?"
That latter part is what matters, though.
Yeah, but let's say it's not overly expensive and you're able to move off of some of the other things. We don't know if you are. Why wouldn't you do that? Why wouldn't you bring them both back?
You can bring them back. I'm not a big, I don't know how much it helps, right? They had 1 year. They know not to order chicken nuggets now. Why do you need? Because you're going to draft young guys. Like I said, this can go on forever. Every year you're going to draft new.
Well, it can't go on forever. It can't go on forever.
Well, now we have to mentor the new 3 rookies.
Mm-hmm.
Now next season we got 3 more new rookies. It could go on forever. I mean, Udonis Haslem, the Heat picked their 1, right? And that was their 1. The Kings.
I forgot about that. Maybe DeMar can be the Kings' Udonis Haslem.
They had 1 though. You can't have 2. And I don't think that Russ would want to do that. I think Russ does want to play. That's just my feeling on it. I think they both want to play.
Yeah.
But I think Russ would more so say, all right, well, if you're telling me I'm, under 15 minutes a night or whatever it is. I think somebody said that in the text line as well. How much does Russ want to be a mentor if, he liked being on the court, mentoring, and he has a lot of fun on the bench, right? But, okay, well, mentoring Maxime on the court versus Udonis Haslem.
Mm-hmm. I never thought I'd say that, but I am seeing now if next year's another gap year, down year, whatever you want to call it, I think there's some upside by bringing back a couple of veterans like that if they understand their role and if they embrace it.
My number one thing is if you're doing that, you probably have to move on from Malik Monk. So who do fans want? Would you rather have Russell Westbrook or Malik Monk?
I understand that. Yeah, there are some financial ramifications. Like we can't keep both or perhaps even one unless we can do A, B, and or C. I get that. I understand that. Hey, Sacramento, you want one of these? Next, Sactown Sports.
Download the Sactown Sports app.
Sacramento sports in your pocket. This is Sactown Sports 1140.
There are many reasons to choose Gonzalez Law Offices. As a dedicated trial lawyer with an undefeated record from 2016 through 2019, and you'll know that no case is too big or too small. Due to his success, hard work, and commitment to excellence, attorney Jonathan Gonzalez has been listed in Super Lawyers Rising Stars, as well as in the top 40 under 40 list by national trial lawyers. You can find Gonzalez Law Office online at saclegaldefense.com or call him at 916-304-9187.
Thunder, feel the thunder.
It's the energy all around you.
Lightning and the thunder, thunder.
The thrill of the moments to come. The flash of lights. The rush of pure exhilaration. The roar of the crowd. See it, hear it, feel it.
Feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
Your Toyota's been through a lot with you. Traffic, rain, potholes, you name it. But it keeps showing up, mile after mile. So maybe it's time to give a little back. For a limited time at your local Toyota dealer, get 3 new tires and get the 4th for $1. Because a ride that's always there for you deserves to be taken care of. 3 tires, get the 4th for $1? Go on, treat your Toyota. Deal ends April 30th. Keep your Toyota a Toyota. Restrictions apply. Toyota and Scion vehicles only. See participating Toyota dealers for details.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Wait, everything on this IHOP value menu is just $6?
I told you it was amazing. A huge plate of pancakes, bacon, and eggs is just $6.
Wow.
There's also French toast, a ham and cheese omelet, and oh, they got a BLT and fries now.
Okay, we're coming here every day.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Feast for just $6 with the IHOP value menu. $7 in some locations, available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
Guys with Kevin Gleason and Alan Stiles.
Alan Stiles playing a little pop shot, shaking his head. Doesn't look like it went well. Were you tanking?
I didn't get to finish.
Oh, sorry. You could have finished. Me and Jay got it.
Every time it's running close, I'm rolling.
Oh, well, then you should have finished.
No. And then when Silva came up to me at the River Cats, I forgot the best part. He says, "Hey, Alan," and I've seen him at a couple River Cats before. Great guy. "Hey, Alan, if I didn't quit Little League, if I didn't have to do this show, if we didn't come back from break, I would have went for 150."
Mm-hmm. Legal screen.
So it was pretty good. He said, "Alan, if I didn't quit Little League,
Yeah.
I'd be playing out there right now.
He's probably right.
You're probably right.
Mm-hmm.
Never know.
Mm-hmm. Real quick here. Don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but, Sacramento has been in the running for various expansion teams and various expansions of stadiums. Got Sac State now moving up in conferences. Oklahoma City has landed a UFL expansion team, United Football League. The UFL has announced plans to expand to 10 teams by 2028. So I believe Oklahoma City would be the 9th. And they're going to play in a soccer stadium that seats about 10,000, I believe. And I believe that's what the UFL is looking at. We have a stadium that's going to be built here that's going to seat more than that. And I'm just wondering, there was a time when Sacramento would get all these teams in these leagues. A UFL team. Does Sacramento even want that now? Is that something anybody cares about?
I'm obviously not the person to speak for Sacramentans, but you don't want to be the city with all the, the below the top tier level of professional sports, right? Because that doesn't. I don't know, right? Are you gonna now? People will find any reason. I guess you could look at it like this, Whitey. When you have somebody like like an athlete that plays D2 or D3 or NAIA, you ask the question, hey, would you rather be on a bad D1 team or compete for championships at the D3 level? Or would you rather, I guess the better conversation would be, would you rather not play college sports or play D3? Right, because you're not getting an NFL team out here. So would you rather a UFL team out here or to just keep the status quo? I don't know. I think it's an interesting one. I think adding a team like that really starts the question of, all right, obviously you don't need to pack it out every night, but are we spreading ourselves thin for something that isn't as desirable as other sports?
There was a time when Sacramento, as I said, would have teams like this. They had a World League of American Football team, the Surge. But I think the difference, and I haven't spent any time in Oklahoma City, I think people in OKC tend to be Cowboy fans, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's a close team, and I apologize if I'm wrong there. But here, is that right, Jay?
That's about right.
Yeah. Here, we're basically an extension of the Bay Area market. There's a difference, but it's, there are some people that want this to become a super region, and fans here are too sophisticated to get excited about that. It's like, that's not the NFL. We drive and see the NFL every Sunday.
Yeah.
So it doesn't hit the same, if it even hits at all for fans in OKC.
I don't even know what a UFL fan, like what is your UFL fandom? Where does that prioritize, right? I got my NFL team and then I got my UFL team.
Yeah.
I'm assuming tickets aren't that pricey, but
plus we've got an NBA team now, which we've had for a long time, but also Major League Baseball, and this is the type of thing. My guess is that for people in Sacramento, it'd be more like, no thanks, that's nice, but we're aiming a little higher right now.
I think that's what it is. And you look,
what do you think, Honorary Mayor?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm kind of with both of you guys. I don't want to say we're snobs, we're above that.
And I don't even know if they're looking at Sacramento, but it is interesting because there's. Sacramento has a stadium that's similar, and they're adding another team. I'm sorry, Alan, I interrupted you.
No, I was just going to say there's just a lot of, I don't know. There are a lot of opportunities out there that you want, and, how people reacted in such a polarizing fashion to Sac State. Oh, we got FBS, but we're going to the MAC, right? Oh, we got football, but it's the UFL. Oh, we got, we have A's, but they might leave. It's just, if you're trying to do the thing and be bigger, it seems like it's better to just have 3 prime sports or 2 prime sports than just doing stuff. And this feels like just doing stuff.
Yeah, we had that UFL team when the UFL was different. We had the Sacramento Mountain Lions. Right?
That's who Denzel's son played on, right?
Yes.
Correct.
I was on the broadcast team.
Yeah, my doppelganger. What's up? What? What's the joke?
No, it's just.
Yeah, my doppelganger.
Yeah.
Come on, Jay.
Yeah. Well, you're a receiver, right there, though. He's a running back. You're a receiver.
Yeah, I'm more of a gadget slot guy.
That's a slot guy. I thought you were Turkey Bowl MVP as a wide receiver.
Yeah, but, I can run the go route.
Oh, okay.
I got the go.
What's the gadget? You're a gadget.
Yeah, gadget. You can throw me in the backfield. Well, I return the kickoffs as well, so that's gadgety. That's gadgety.
I think that's one of the hardest things to do in sports that no one ever thinks about. There was a time when it seemed like every other week people were talking about what's the hardest thing to do in sports. Was it like the USA Today poll? And, hitting a baseball was always up there, if not the number one answer.
Right.
But catching a punt is not as easy as you think.
Right.
And it looks easy. But especially when you consider, okay, I've got someone bearing down on me. If I decide to catch it, they're going to hit me. And, you got to catch it.
Right. Yeah. Well, and I've seen, they'll have Kevin Hart's out there. I can't see. He's out there trying to catch it. The way I tried to catch it, it fell. Then I'm on the ground.
I don't know, Jay.
That might be the worst one yet. That might be the worst one yet, fam. Normally you're all right, but that one, I don't know. You might be doing John David Washington.
It's in the zip code. I can tell where he's going.
No, come on, guys. That wasn't that bad.
He might be in a suburb of the city.
Guys, that wasn't that bad.
Was that John David Washington?
I want to catch it. I can't catch it. It falls on the ground. Now I got to get it.
I think the cadence is okay.
The way my bank account worked.
Yeah.
What about Kevin Hart?
What about Morgan Freeman returning punts?
And that's when I realized he didn't have on the right gloves. But
I asked you to do it and you did it. I appreciate it.
They'll have some celebrities, try to catch punts, and I think to myself, man, it kind of looks like I should be able to do that. Maybe we can get out there, Sac City, Sac State. I know their FBS now might be too cool for school, but I want to get out there. You see that? Where's Scott Marsh?
I think they do that at some of the games they're used to. They put a helmet on somebody and then you got to catch a punt.
Where's Scott Marsh?
Spin you around or anything. You just put a helmet on you. Yeah.
Scott, I know you're downstairs. Get me on the field. I want to. I didn't know if I was going Kevin Hart or Morgan Freeman. Scott, I want to catch a punt. Yeah. And that's when I want to catch a punt.
I don't know what happened, Jay. I don't know what happened to him today.
Come on, Jay.
You led him astray, brother.
You
led him astray.
I had a pent-up energy. He was ready for a Rivercats doubleheader.
I seen.
It didn't happen, and so he just got all that extra energy.
I had another cup of coffee.
Where'd you you sent us the picture. Were you, I guess, politicking on the concourse the whole time, or did you go into the clubhouse, or did you go up into the suites, the lounge?
Really had to put the tarp on?
I didn't have to put the tarp on. It was already on.
Okay.
But I saw them squeegeeing out there. I just, got PTSD. I got to get out of here, man.
So where'd you politic all day?
We showed up. We did our pre-game meeting, and then we were just kind of hanging out in our kind of cat crew clubhouse, just waiting. Okay. Just waiting.
Now, what about, I'm going to the next situation is what about the vittles?
What do you mean?
Because normally you guys aren't supplied with the vittles.
Right.
Right, during a regular game day, but this is irregular. So what happened?
You were never on the clock, technically, right?
We were on the clock.
Yeah, it was on the clock, baby, because you're waiting around. Yeah.
Okay.
Look, I threw out there, hey, I'm gonna need some pizza or a dinger dog.
Okay. I like where you're going. You threw it out there.
I threw it out there, and we didn't go.
Who'd you throw it to?
I threw it to the powers. I didn't throw it to head honcho. I threw it to the powers that be. Basically, it was, to be fair, guys. I think I clocked in at 9. And I think we were out of there at like 12:30 because the game was supposed to be at 12.
That's enough for a snack, big fella.
I know. I'd take a snack.
So
snack attack.
This might be a conversation.
Sounds like all you took was an L.
Yeah. Well, depends on how you look. I got to go home to my beautiful family.
Attaboy.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Have a nice lunch.
Well, I need to call over there to get some vittles for the voice of the cats.
That's what I think I could, take the bull by the horns a bit more.
Okay.
But that's just not my style.
Well, that's why I said, who can I call?
I bet you Zach Beirudi got all the snacks.
I bet you did.
Yeah.
I bet he.
Y'all part of the same fraternity over there.
I need to talk to him.
Right.
Hey, can you get me something? Can you get me something, man?
He might show up on this show this week just because.
Yeah,
of that.
I think he should.
Alan, I got you. You can take my stuff, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe you take your own pizza rolls out there, and then they'll put them in the microwave for you.
No, I can't use the microwave.
Oh,
I'm just
what?
I'm kidding.
Oh man,
I'm kidding.
Toaster oven?
I'm kidding. You know what though? When we were having that conversation, somebody said the snack conversation, bagel bites.
Yes.
You know, I'm hot and cold with bagel bites.
I'm very hot.
You keep
it's just
them
been
in
a
too
long
long.
time.
They're too crispy.
Yeah.
You take them out early. They're soggy.
Too salt. Yeah. You got to get
tough.
them.
If they're in too long or not long enough, just give those to me. I'll eat them.
You like the crispy ones?
I don't care. I like them.
You know, it's like a hockey puck.
Haven't had those in a long time.
Knuckle
them
puck
things
time.
are good.
You know, I'm on Totino's over bagel bites.
Okay,
Easy.
that's a close call. I know I brought up the pizza rolls, but bagel bites been a while. Been far too long. It's been too long. That's when he realized.
Carmichael Dave might make some in here. Bring his hot plate.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a long.
We're free.
I was going to say, it's been a while since we heard you exult over the end of the season.
Yeah, well, it's time to do it again.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
When we come back, we'll look at what hopes are, realistic hopes are, that is, for next Kings season. We'll hear what Domas had to say today about last season and his future as a King next. Don't go away. Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
That sound? Yeah, that's not a good sign. Hey, it's Drew Brees, and when your car starts making noises like that, a big repair bill might be coming right at you. But with CarShield, you don't have to fear unexpected breakdowns. CarShield helps protect you from expensive auto repairs. I spent my career making tough calls, but this one is simple.
Visit carshield.com now and join the team that's helped millions of drivers save. Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at carshield.com.
Wait, everything on this IHOP value menu is just $6?
I told you it was amazing. A huge plate of pancakes, bacon, and eggs is just $6.
Wow.
There's also French toast, a ham and cheese omelet, and they got a BLT and fries now.
Okay, we're coming here every day.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Feast for just $6 with the IHOP value menu. $7 in some locations, available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
If you owe back taxes, listen carefully to rule number 1. Never go up against the IRS alone. They're cracking down, freezing bank accounts, garnishing paychecks, canceling passports. Even your home or business could be at risk. But here's what they don't tell you. The IRS has powerful tax relief programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. That's why smart people call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. Nobody knows these programs like the experts at Optima. Their team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $2 billion in tax debt for people just like you. The IRS is not stopping, so don't wait. And don't take them on alone. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima today for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
The bedroom collection sale is on at Scandinavian Designs. For a limited time, shop dreamy deals on all bedroom furniture, including beds, dressers, nightstands, and more. This is your chance to splurge on a new piece or upgrade your entire sleep space with a fresh, modern look. Stop by one of our local showrooms or shop online at ScandinavianDesigns.com. Scandinavian Designs. We make it simple. You make it home.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet at Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Woodland. What's happening for the Declaration of Deals sales event?
Right now, you can save up to $14,500 off MSRP on new 2026 Ram 2500 and 3500 heavy duties. And take advantage of available 5.9% financing for 84 months with no payments for 90 days on select inventory.
That's the kind of savings we need with gas prices so high.
It's true. Plus, Ram has some of the best fuel EPA ratings in the segment. And with over 500 new Rams available, your new hard-to-find heavy-duty Ram is at Hoblet. Don't miss your chance to save with Hoblet Dodge in Woodland.
Search, select, and save through our whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection, nobody beats Hoblet, period. 14,500 total net savings on select new 2026 Ram 2500 Limited Longhorn after 1,500 factory rebates and 13,000 dealer discounts. Discounts include 1,000 Hoblet business owner bonus with proof of business ownership, 1,000 Hoblet trade-in assistance with eligible trade, and 500 on-the-job upfit with eligible upfit. One of this net savings, VIN 152135. See dealer for details.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports 1140. Live and local, it's The Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
What are realistic hopes for the Kings next year? Obviously, we have to wait and see how things play out in the offseason. One of the keys to that will be where they end up in the draft, who they end up taking, and how good that person is. How well did Alan Sal's just do in Papa Shot?
Well, I finished because, I wanted to stand on business. I'm just stuck at that 122.
Mm-hmm.
Once I break through, it's over.
Yeah. Just still missing a few shots. You just can't hardly miss any. Plus, you got the bad shoulder. You're injured. You're kind of the Caleb Wilson, people say, of Papa Shot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I should go number 2, just like you'd take me.
Caleb Wilson is headed to the NBA draft. He officially announced that today after what he called, quote, the most fun year of my life. He's very young, He hasn't been around that long. But the program, North Carolina program, released a video statement today from Caleb Wilson. I'm grateful for the opportunity I had to represent North Carolina, wearing number 8, running out that historic tunnel every day for practice and games. I'm happy to say every day I gave it my all. Here's the video, just a still picture I'm showing Alan here. Looks like he's about 14 years old.
He does.
Doesn't he? These guys are so young.
Yep, and there's a lot on their shoulders, or there's about to be.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, really, I do wonder how the interview process is going to go, just because this is such a unique draft where there's always pressure on you. Don't get me wrong. But, I mean, even Ace Bailey, who, big name, Dylan Harper, big name, but Dylan Harper is in a different situation. Ace Bailey is kind of in a different situation now that the Jazz made that trade for Jaren Jackson. They have Laurie. These guys are going to have a lot of pressure on them. And I think going back to the the off-court stuff, or just the mentality stuff, that's why Darren Peterson is maybe taking this hit, because these guys are not being looked at as pieces. They're being looked at as the piece. So which one of these guys do you trust as the piece, who looks like they're built for it? And honestly, Whitey, that's maybe why. When you hear Caleb Wilson talk, he might look like he's 15, but you can tell he's really excited for what's coming up next. I just haven't heard enough from Darren Peterson and, Boozer. The Dookies, they can come off like robots, but they always say the right thing, and they know what to say. His dad played, so he's used to it. But those three, Debansa, Wilson, and Boozer, I think even if Boozer doesn't have the highest ceiling, you might feel more comfortable taking him than Darren Peterson from just a perspective of not maybe ceiling, but the perspective of, hey, these guys are trying to change our franchise, and are you up for that task, especially in Sacramento?
I think even if the Kings hit the jackpot in the lottery, next year's going to be another year like this year. Hopefully a little better, but still a build year, gap year, whatever you want to call it. Right. Especially if they end up drafting someone like Caleb Wilson, who's so young.
Yeah.
That's what I think. But if you had the second pick, okay, you're the Kings, you have the second pick, DeBonsa is the first pick. Who are you going with, Alan? Are going to take Caleb Wilson at 2, as I've said I would?
I'm with you.
Are you?
I'm with you. It's just the prototype. It is. It's Caleb, or honestly, I might go Boozer.
I thought you were going to say, or Nate Amend. I love Nate Amend.
Well, we're Kings, based on them winning those games, they might be down at 8. And at 8, give me Nate Amend. If it's between Nate Amend, Whitey, and Michael Brown Jr., you have to, will you finally say you take Nate Amend? You are not taking Michael over Nate Amend. Stop it.
Let me get back to you on that.
Stop that.
I just wanted to share those odds once again, and our thanks to
Kyle Ledbetter.
Do you have it there? Because I unfortunately can't find it right this moment.
It's a little small.
Yeah. Here it is.
I got you.
Yeah. Okay. What do you got? These are the odds here. Because now, the Kings finished in a tie with Utah. So what does that mean? We thought we would at least know where the Kings are going to finish in the lottery standings, but we don't even know that yet because they're tied with Utah. So now what?
Right. So as of right now, there's a 0.6 chance at the 9 seed, or if they lose the coin flip. There's a 3.7 chance at 8.5 chance at the 8 pick. 25% at 7. 25%, is that right? Whitey, get ready to learn native men. 18% for the 6th pick, 2% for the 5th pick, 11 for 4, 11 for 3, 11 for 2, 11 for 1. All the same if they beat the Jazz, but then 5th pick jumps up to 7.5, 6th pick jumps up to 27.1, 7th pick drops down to 17.9, still don't like that. And 9th is eliminated, and 8th is 2.4.
Let's say you're watching a game. Jay goes to the foul line, okay? And the numbers come up, and Jay is a 79.8% free throw shooter.
Okay.
He's going to knock it down, right?
I'd say
79.8.
Yeah.
If the Kings win the coin flip with the Jazz, they have a 79.8% chance of picking in the top 6. If the Kings lose the coin flip, their chances of picking in the top 6 drop to 65.7%. Still pretty good, but, nothing like 79.8%.
Yeah. I do wonder.
So that's what's at stake.
I do wonder if people are going to, my favorite texter out there on my beloved text line, my favorite texter is Scott, who Scott always, he would always chime in, Whitey, and say, no, the Kings got to win games. They have to win games. When you say those numbers, and they are a bit sobering, if the Kings actually mess around and get the 7th pick, I do wonder if the Scotts of the world will stand on business, or will they say, yeah, maybe those wins weren't worth it.
If they finished with the worst record, then they could have picked worse than 5th, as we know. That'd be a nice position to be in now. But given what the teams that finished worse than the Kings went through to get there, I don't know. I don't know if the Kings realistically could have gotten there with that roster. Wizards, by the way, congratulations, Wizards. They have the worst record, so they picked no worse than 5th. So they're
going to get the 5th pick, watch.
Yeah, maybe so.
I mean, Wizards, they might be cooking. They got some guys, man. Oh, but did you hear, speaking of the Wizards, a guy that they may...
Wizards are not going to be cooking anytime soon.
Well, I'm saying a guy that they may not have, Anthony Davis, not a great... Well, Ja and Brandon Clark and who was it? KCP. They didn't even go to their exit interview, which I've never even heard of that. They just didn't go. Anthony Davis said, "I'm here." He did the "I'm here under contract." He is assessing the situation, even though he is under said contract, but he is assessing the situation. So he's preparing, I guess, to maybe force his way out. But the Wizards, they got some young talent, Whitey. I wouldn't sleep on them. You say they're not cooking, but they got some dudes.
We'll see who they draft, because that's a team that definitely, they have some nice young players, but they are in dire need of a guy.
But have you seen
two?
Have you seen this brother Will Riley?
I know they have some good players.
They got
I'm a
some
Koulibaly
guys.
fan, and I don't think he had that great of a year.
No, but they got some dudes. I'm just saying, if they get lucky, or if they just add a top 5 pick. Now, what's interesting is if they got 5th, I don't know. You just got Trae Young. Do you get Darius? You cannot. You literally can't have Trae Young and Darius Acuff on the same squad. So I don't know where they
could have
go.
Darren Peterson.
You could have Darren Peterson if he's available. If he's available, where you're picking. So Jay, keep an eye on those Wizards. You never know. I know Whitey said don't. I said don't sleep on them. Whitey said you can take a slumber.
Nap time. Night.
Take some Z-Quil.
At least for the next year or two still, I think.
Okay.
We'll see where they pick. And that's obviously, I asked the question, what's realistic for the Kings next year? We don't know. We don't even know who's going to be on the team. Like, is Domantas Sabonis going to be on the team? He met with the media today. Here's Domas, who says it's hard to know what the team needs for next year.
It's hard this year because, like you said, there's a lot of noise going on, and no one really knows what's going to happen. We'll obviously have a high draft pick, so that also comes into play, and we trust Scott to do the right thing.
We trust Scott. In Scott, we trust.
We trust Scott.
Yeah.
I trust Scott.
I feel badly for him because it sounds like part of him is still very committed to the Kings, but he just doesn't know if that's being reciprocated. And that's part of being a professional basketball player and get all these. I know you got all this money. I know, but can't you hear it a little bit?
Yeah. I mean, he said, you guys know I like being out here. They were, the whole thing with, they thought that maybe a trade was going to happen, but we've still never really heard Domas outside of that assessing the situation, which was early on. This offseason? I can't even remember. Was that this offseason? Domas is going to assess the situation. Then we never heard anything again, and he just was on the team.
Right. He says he can, where have we heard this before today? I can only control what I can control. How about that?
Yeah, there's a lot of uncertainty. I don't know what that feels like, but I can control what I control, and is getting back to that All-NBA player that I know I can be.
Somebody's been talking to Dallas, Braden. Here's the thing. Seems like too many years we've done this where the playoffs start, and I like to ask Kings fans, all right, so who's your team now in the postseason? It's kind of like when you back a candidate, and then your candidate backs out or just bows out, then who are you going to support now? Right. One team I would support is it Cleveland that's playing Toronto? Whoever Toronto's playing, because if Toronto's bounced, I would think Toronto is more likely then to come back to the Kings and go, hey, let's revisit those Domas talks.
Yeah, Cleveland and Toronto, Saturday, April 18th. So you're basically rooting, if you wanted to move on from Domas, you're rooting for the Raptors to get bounced early.
Yes, and I think that'd be a better situation for Domas as well. I have no hard feelings against Domas. To me, it's pretty clear they're not necessarily viewing him as a piece of things going forward.
I said this to you before the show started. Not the same situation, but it almost reminds me of a Max Crosby situation with the Raiders, where you don't know if you're going to get value back. Obviously, the Raiders were going to get value back, and then that kind of got botched. And now the Raiders just decided, okay,
sure,
the timelines are close enough. Could that happen with Domantas Sabonis if you can't get value back for him? He wants to be here. He's still an all-NBA talent when healthy. The last time we saw him, and it's not easy for the Kings to get all-NBA talent. That just is what it is. We love Maxime, but Domantas Sabonis is still better than Maxime right now. So if you can get value for him, cool. I don't know if you're just trading him for a bag of corn chips.
Right. Don't you think, though, that it's fair to question whether Domas puts up the numbers that would earn him another all-league nod if you don't run your offense through him?
Yeah. And I do think, to your point, depending on who they draft, they probably want to move away from that. They want to diversify this stuff. We've gone back.
Depending on who you draft as a point guard, too, because now we want to run our offense through Acuff or whomever.
Yeah, I think, and maybe going back to, hey, I'm not really sure what offense the Kings are running here. Maybe there's always just been this, well, we still have Domas, and we're supposed to run through him, and we're trying to develop these guys. Then he gets hurt, and they didn't use Max the same way. Then you get Westbrook, who's his own type of offense. So I think if you're Doug, hey, once I find out who we're drafting and if we're moving on from Domas, we as a coaching staff can develop something more than DHOs and the Domas.
Yeah. Mike Mitchell was the offensive guy, right? I think he was in charge of the offense.
That sounds right.
Domas on how he handled all of the trade rumors.
Just treat it like I have, every year since I got in the NBA. I always want to get better as a player, and no matter where I am, but I'm very happy here. You all know that. And things like this, you just got to focus on my knee, my rehab, getting back to the player I am.
I'm very happy here. You guys know that.
Why do you feel so bad for him?
It's a guy that has given a lot to the team, has played a whole year with a broken thumb, helped the team get into the playoffs. And now it seems like they're maybe deciding it's time to move off you. I don't know if he wants to stay. It's just kind of, how do you not feel bad for him?
Well, we'll know more.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know. It's not as if it was a Malik Monk situation. I mean, anybody need a Malik Monk? Anybody?
Mm-hmm,
They're not doing that, or they haven't done that with Domas. We think they are looking to move on from him. And we don't even know if they're looking to move on from him for Maxime. It's just the money thing.
Yeah. But part of it, I think, too, is that Domas is a Monty guy. You know, Scott Perry comes in, and this happens in all sports. New GM comes in and is like, you're terrific. Nothing personal, but I didn't bring you here. Yeah. You know, I mean, it happens in radio.
Well, but it happens when they don't, I guess, I don't want to say believe in your ceiling or your talent, but, you know, Giannis had a couple GMs, and they ain't moving off of Giannis. So I think it happens when.
Maybe.
Well, I'm saying up until now.
Right.
Up until now.
Yeah.
But if you don't think that player is going to help you go to the promised land, that's where you're moving off from.
Yeah.
So
I'm getting really weary of the whole Giannis thing now that you mention it, because it's not up to me. I don't know. He's just playing it too like I just work here, man.
Yeah. And we know it's more than
that's getting really old.
He's annoyed me for a very long time.
You gotta believe everything that's written. I've told you I want to be here. I may not feel that way tomorrow, but you just got to listen to what I'm saying.
Right. You know what it is?
It's not up to me.
People used to, people got on De'Aaron Fox. Well, yeah, he didn't technically say he wanted out, but clearly he wanted out. This is what Giannis is doing is what a lot of people accuse De'Aaron Fox of doing. He wants out. He just doesn't want to say it. To this day, I don't know that De'Aaron actually wanted out. He wanted
not until like Mike Brown was fired. Mike Brown, it's like, okay, I told you that if I'm staying, I want him here.
Yes, exactly. And they knew the deal, and they did it anyway. But Giannis is, I don't know. I'm gonna go talk to some streamer and say a bunch of random stuff. I don't know. What do any of us know? Right? And the Bucks, on the other hand, just keep drafting every Antetokounmpo that was ever born. Mm-hmm. Everyone.
Right.
There's another one on there now. They have both.
Mm-hmm.
And they have both.
I think they have Larry Antetokounmpo.
Honestly, there's an Antetokounmpo on the team. He's actually not related to them, but they just added him anyway, just in case.
Yeah, that's smart.
Just in case.
Mm-hmm.
They're just running 23andMes, and anybody that is connected to Giannis that plays basketball is on the Bucks.
I think it may be even harder to trade Domas this offseason if that's what they want to do. All indications are it's nothing against him, but they want to move off of the salary. He's coming off a knee surgery.
Mm-hmm. And
I believe it was a meniscus, which I know is different than like an ACL repair or something. But still, it's a guy making a lot of money who's coming off of a knee surgery.
Well, okay. Well, that comes back to
you just don't have a lot of leverage if you're the Kings on that.
That's what I'm saying. Going back to how Matt George talked about it. How important is it to get off of Domantas Sabonis' contract? If it's a corn chip deal, hey, we'll give you some chili cheese Fritos and just call it a day.
Okay.
Are you doing it to get off the contract? Because like you said, nobody's going to. I don't know if you're getting a first rounder based on him not. You barely got one when he was healthy. Now he's not, or I guess he wasn't healthy at that time either.
Mm-hmm.
But now he's not.
Mm-hmm. I think I would have more interest than people say you should on first-round picks next year. I know that everyone says it's a terrible draft.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, just give me more.
Mm-hmm.
Just give me more, because I like
2 for 1.
You saw that dude I sent you and Jay. He was playing overseas, 7-footer.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Slim Jesus.
Yeah. Why wouldn't I want him, huh, Jay?
Slim Jesus? Come on, man.
I'll let him get past me. You can draft him.
Keep an eye on.
I know I'll regret it, but.
No, trust me. Couple months here, you guys are going to see wherever he commits for college, Slim Jesus.
Alan, why do any of us think the Kings are going to have any more luck trading some of the guys that they've wanted to trade than they did last offseason or at the deadline? How are any of them worth any more? Zach LaVine, okay, also an expiring contract.
Yes.
Okay. Domas, He's closer to the end of his deal, but he's coming off of an injury. Malik had another Malik year. I don't know. I know that's the focus now, but color me skeptical that they can get anything done.
Yeah, because even when we talked to Keith Smith, everything he was saying was great. It just takes two to tango. So, and it felt like Keith was more so saying, you can't get value back. You can't worry about getting all this value back. You just have to move off of these contracts.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what it turns into. It's just going to be a lot of maneuvering as far as how you move off of these contracts, but don't just keep the same amount of money. It's got to be, all right, we're finding contracts that are at least shorter. And because the Domas one in particular, that's the one where you can cut off a year. Zach, you're expiring, so it's all going to be done.
Left that door open today. Well, we're going to watch the playoffs. I don't know if I'm going to pick up the option. Me and my agent are going to hang out, watch the playoffs.
Yeah, me and my representative.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see. I mean, that's what I said.
What does that mean?
It means that he's not going to say right there, I'm opting in, but we'll probably get it from Shams. I'll tell you this much. If I'm Levine and I'm really not thrilled with the idea of coming back, me personally, it's guaranteed money. So if it's a team that I like, I know, he's from up north. Portland needs shooting, to be honest, but I'm not saying that money would work. If it's a team that I like, I'll do 2 years for 50 instead of 1. I would. I mean, I'm not counting anybody's chickens and anybody's wallets, but I would do that. 3 years, maybe Zach Levine's thinking, I can just get all in 1. But two for 25, I'll do it.
I think Kings fans, when it comes to where the Kings pick, I think first, they'd be obviously thrilled. First, second, third, they'll feel really excited about things. Fourth, I think they'd feel pretty good. It's just funny, I remember when they ended up with the 4th pick in the Blake Griffin draft, and it was the worst they could do, and they ended up with Tyreek Evans, but people were really upset. This year, 4th, I think they'd feel good. 5th, I think people will feel like, probably should have lost more games, but we can live with that. 6th and beyond, I think people are going to start to feel like, the league is sticking it to them.
They should not feel like that this season.
How far, how many picks down should they feel like this is great, in your opinion?
Well, I'm just not blaming it on the league because the league said we're going to handle the tanking next season, and the Kings said we're going to handle it this season. So
I'm not even saying blame the league.
Sure.
But how far down do you think Kings fans should be excited about the pick?
You know me. If you drop out of the top 4, this was stupid.
Really?
That's how I feel.
Uh-huh. How about you, Jay? Just in your
5.
opinion. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think 5. And but I'll say this too, and of course you guys can say the same thing. I'm gonna kind of consistently say I'm gonna reserve judgment until some of these guys get out there and play their one-on-ones and have their visits. Because I still think Darren Peterson, for me, is the second best player out there, and I think he's going to show that among other people. So if he puts himself in 2 or 3, I think that pushes this draft back another slot. Yeah. So you may say 6.
Yeah.
Because I think Acuff, to most people, he's a top 5 guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now if he's a top 5 guy to most, now it's like, well, okay, I like Flemings. I kind of like Michael Brown Jr. There's some guys down there too.
Yeah. If I get to the point where I feel like, man, there's 5 or 6 top 5 guys, then I feel pretty good with a top 5 pick.
That's why I think it's 5 right now.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think that's where fans are. I think if the Kings end up 6, there's going to be the consensus will be, that's not good enough.
I think
we'll see what they do with it if it comes to that.
Well, you know what's so funny, guys? Because the Kings kept winning games, it's almost as if fans are now in a position where, well, it could have been worse. I think if you asked fans a month and a half ago, hey, the Kings ended up with the 5th pick, they'd say, man, that's ridiculous. We were in such a good position. I think because the Kings won games and are kind of playing with fire here, a 5th pick would dang near feel like we avoided a real disaster.
I think so. Yeah.
I think the expectations have now changed from we have the worst record and we ended up with 5th, oh dang, to we won some games we really had no business winning. We ended up with the 9th pick.
I also think you deserve a lot of credit because you were one of the first, if not the first person, to point out that, hey, the schedule gets a lot easier.
Yeah.
It's going to be harder to lose some of these games down the stretch.
And they made some calls and They developed some young players, but they were no match. And what's funny is two of those wins were against playoff teams.
Yeah.
Even though I'm talking about the Pelicans of the world and others, they beat the Clippers and they beat the Raptors.
You never really know. Did you see what happened to Orlando? Playing Boston's bench yesterday?
Yep, that's right.
A big game from Orlando.
They're just waiting. I mean, I don't know. The Kings are in a tough spot, but then you end up in a spot like Orlando where you didn't really do anything wrong. It just doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
That happens too. That's happened to them a number of times, actually.
Who do you, because it's the blame game, right? Who do you blame? Well, the coach gets canned because they feel like they have the talent.
Right.
And then, you know who you call. It's Doc Rivers on line one.
Who began his coaching career with Orlando.
That's right.
Uh-huh.
The fixer. Hey. We really like Paolo. We like Paolo. And we like Desmond Bain. He's a heck of a player. Jay. We really like Jay. Better producer in the game.
Yeah, that's actually one of your better ones,
Should have
Sam.
never taken him to see Frank Kelly.
Why?
I love Frank. He's quite the performer.
Google him.
I'm going to Google Frank Caliendo right now. I love his John Madden.
ESPN names the NBA's best in 15 categories. And what do you know? A King gets a mention. We'll tell you who and why next. It's Whitey, Jay, Doc Rivers, Drive Guys, Sactown Sports.
The San Francisco 49ers play on Sactown Sports 1140.
Touchdown 49ers! Every game on your #1 sports station. Don't miss the action on your local sports leader. Sactown Sports 1140.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
That sound? Yeah, that's not a good sign. Hey, it's Drew Brees, and when your car starts making noises like that, a big repair bill might be coming right at you. But with CarShield, you don't have to fear unexpected breakdowns. CarShield helps protect you from expensive auto repairs. I spent my career making tough calls, but this one is simple.
Visit carshield.com now and join the team that's helped millions of drivers save. Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at carshield.com.
To 15-year-old Harper, buying an $80 vintage rock t-shirt is a great investment. To Harper's mom, this logic has a few holes in it. So she helped Harper open a Wells Fargo Clear Access banking account. With no overdraft fees and tools to track spending, Harper's learning, one heavy metal tee at a time. However you make money work, Wells Fargo can work with that.
Terms apply. Visit wellsfargo.com/deposit disclosures for fees and details.
A's fans, the 2026 season is coming fast, and single game tickets are on sale now. Be there for an exciting season packed with theme days, giveaways, and firework nights, including bobbleheads, jerseys, hats, and much more. And getting in is easier than ever. Tickets start at just $8 for select April and May games. From opening day to unforgettable summer nights, there's something for everyone at the ballpark. Get your tickets today at athletics.com/tickets and be part of the excitement this 2026 season.
Thunder, feel the thunder.
It's the energy all around you.
Lightning and the thunder.
The thrill of the moments to come. The flash of lights. The rush of pure exhilaration. The roar of the crowd. See it, hear it, feel it.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
Download the app and listen to The Drive Guys.
The Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Alan Stiles.
On Sactown Sports 1140.
First place, A's taking on Tejas tonight. First of 4 at Sutter Health Park. See what kind of crowd we have out there. See what kind of excitement the A's are generating here, coming back from a tremendous road trip.
When are you going to get out there?
Soon. Sheena was just saying last night we were watching. Were we watching the A's yesterday? Anyway, she said we should go out there soon. Then she said, I don't want to. I want to get out there before it gets too hot. And I said, well, then we better go.
Yeah,
we better get out there.
You know what? Now that I think about it, I'm gonna talk to wifey. Might just hit that. It's funny. The last time I went to an A's game as a media member, it was against the White Sox.
Mm-hmm.
Then I went to the Phillies game as a fan. Might just cop some White Sox tickets.
We got to get the Drive Guys family night out there.
I mean, I think
maybe Jay's first A's game in West Sac.
What do you?
Abby, no. I've been to one.
Oh, you have? Okay.
Astros, Kyle Draper, first pitch.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Well, we're going to have some opportunities here, guys, as far as easier access, not to do attendance gate, but they got the Rangers this go-round. Then the weekend, the White Sox come to town. That's easy access. After that, end of April and beginning of May, they host the Royals and then the Guardians. So, and then after that, and I know they have a pretty solid fan base, but middle of May, it's the Cardinals, and then their first meetup with the Giants.
Your guy Skip will be out there for the Cardinals.
That's right. That's right. Then their first meetup with the Giants, that'll be May, so that'll be a nightmare. But like 4 series, if anybody wants to get out there, I would assume going to be pretty easy access, pretty affordable tickets before we hit the middle of May and the A's take on the Giants. So, Whitey, I think we should pick. Well, here's my thing. Would you prefer, a high intensity? Because I think all these games are going to be good enough. High intensity. We're not doing. Look, we need to talk downstairs if we want A's Giants. But besides A's Giants,
no, I'm okay with.
Okay,
yeah.
Because
to me, that's the true fans go out to see, like the A's and the White Sox.
Okay, so that we got plenty of opportunities
for a day game, which I know is hard for us because we work. But
end of May, honestly, Whitey. Now that I look at it, attendance gate's going to be rough. So you get that
You always say I don't want to hear about it, and that's all you're talking
about.
But
now I'm in. But because people have made me be a part of this.
When do the Twinkies come in?
The Twins?
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking here. You get the Mariners end of May, and then you get Yankees. Ooh, end of May. They're making a lot of money in May. They got the Giants and the Yankees. Then I would assume it's pretty dry after that until the Dodgers. They got the Brewers, the Rockies, the Pirates, the Angels. They go to the Giants at the end of June. Then Whitey, end of June, beginning of July is when the Dodgers come to town.
Okay.
I'm looking for your Twins. They play the Twin. They got
Ryan
the
Kreidler
Twins.
in the Twins organization.
End of August. So hot.
Wow.
Hot.
Wait a while. Okay.
Yeah. Attendance gate's going to be rough.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You're big on it.
Even bring it up.
You're big on
That's
it.
all you talk about is attendance gate. I don't want to talk about attendance gate.
I don't want to talk about
attendance gate's going to be kind of tough.
It doesn't matter who comes to the game.
You can say it as Doc Rivers, but we still know it's you.
Yeah.
See if you can guess this. There's a piece at ESPN.com by Dean Oliver, who, if I'm not mistaken, and I don't believe I am, he was in the Kings analytics department years ago. Mm-hmm. He's an analytics guy. He wrote the NBA's most valuable players in 15 categories. And this is based on, some analytic metrics. Ball hawk, best at forcing turnovers. The best is Tumani Kamara. Best fadeaway, Luka. Luka, by the way, there's news on Luka. We're not sure yet when he'll be back. He's coming back from Europe, and he's trying to get back for the playoffs. Sparkplug, best off the bench, A.J. Mitchell. Best passer, Cade Cunningham. Best three-point shooter, Jamal Murray. Best mid-range, Shea. Best floater, Donovan Mitchell. Best shooting at the rim, Giannis. Best rebounder, your guy, Amen Thompson. That guy's no good. He doesn't do anything. That's what you always say.
I don't say that.
Cleanup crew. Best in converting putbacks is Jalen Duren. Best transition offense, Tyrese Maxey. Anyway, there's also Wemby, best on defense. Best offense at clutch time, Shea. They also have, and best overall, Shea. They also have the top rookie for each of those categories I mentioned. I know you weren't writing them down, but can you guess which of those categories ended up with a king in there for the best rookie? Again, I'll give you those categories. Best at forcing turnovers, best fadeaway, best off the bench, best passer, best three-point shooter, best mid-range, best floater, best shooting at the rim, best rebounder, best at converting putbacks, best transition offense, best offense at clutch time, best on defense, best overall.
Shooting at the rim, Maxime.
Shooting at the rim. You have the right guy, but not quite the right category.
Putbacks?
Top rookie, best shooting at the rim is actually Cooper Flagg. But soft touch, best floater, Donovan Mitchell, the winner. Top rookie, Maxime Reynaud.
That push shot.
A little pop-a shot, push shot.
Get him in here.
According to the advanced metrics, top rookie in the league when it comes to the best floater.
I like that. You're going to need it. And he was shooting those threes yesterday, too.
He got his percentage up to, do you have it there, the percentages? He got his three-point numbers up to semi-respectable, and they were not very good for the longest time.
No, he got up to, woo!
Yeah.
32.4?
Yeah.
No, this is a guy.
Uh-huh.
And we know that now.
Yeah.
This is a guy.
Yeah. Well, I know you had said earlier in the year, hey, you want to see him start shooting more threes? Be patient, but he started doing it, and he started making them.
Yeah, as we look at this end-of-the-season checklist and we compare it to our mid-season checklist, there are a lot of lists that have been checked.
Uh-huh.
A lot of boxes. And Maxime Reynaud shooting the three ball, that's definitely one of the boxes that was checked.
Does that just add to your sense of urgency when it comes to trading Domas that you have a center that is, according to Alan Stiles, the steal of the draft last year?
You know what's so funny about that as we go back? And I know Domas is at a different stage of his career than Russell Westbrook, and we don't know how much Russ would be playing, but I do find it to be fascinating when we compare players who get thrown into the fire and how they react to it versus, we see this coming, so we have to react differently, right? Maxime gets thrown into the fire. It was rough early, but just throughout the course of the season, you didn't have really Domas to help, quote unquote, if you will, and he figured it out. But with the guard situation, if the Kings take a guard, and I'm not saying they're going to keep Westbrook, but there's a world where they do.
Are you taking us down through the back way to the path of the hybrid rebuild?
No.
Okay.
No, not at all.
Okay.
No, the opposite. I'm saying Maxime was able to do that on his own. I know the vets were there, but his position specifically, right? If that's the case, you draft somebody like Darius Acuff or somebody like that, you kind of just got to let him go. So unless you come to a very clear understanding with Russ that you're just not going to be playing very much, then I don't know why we have to treat a top draft pick any differently than how it ended up with Maxime. Now, they didn't draw it up this way with Maxime, but look how it turned out. So I don't know why there has to be any conversation about keeping these vets for the mentorship thing, because Maxime had mentorship, but not at his position.
Sure, but that's okay. The mentors doesn't matter what position they play, but as far as Domas goes, you could play him and Maxime together. We've seen some of that. However, if you end up drafting somebody who's going to play in the front court, let's just say you draft Boozer, who's a 4, then you really would have to move off of Domas, I would think.
Yeah.
As unlikely as it is, it seems unlikely they get Boozer. I don't know.
What about the whole Debanza thing? I know we talked to people that said he might be a 2.
Yeah.
He could be anything. Cooper's played anywhere from 1 to 4, it feels like. So, guys like that you can move around.
There's also this, Alan. I remember talking to Scott Perry about this right after the draft. If Maxime is going to be able to make threes, he is theoretically the type of guy you could play with Domas.
You can.
Yeah.
Now, but the problem is, in theory, has always been it's the marketing thing, and I think it's not very hard for anyone to be better at defense than Lauri Markkanen. Do you trust Maxime as a shot blocker, or where's the defense coming from in that front court?
You're not getting any.
Okay.
Really, honestly, you're really not getting much.
As long as you're good with that.
Max has to improve.
Yeah.
Domas gives you about as much effort. Domas, to me, puts the light of that old adage, well, defense is all about effort, because he plays as hard as anybody, and he's not horrible, but he's not going to be all league defensively.
I think you hit the nail on the head when it came to how you're using Domas. And it's always been the Domas conundrum. When you run the offense through him, he's worth the money, but you probably have a ceiling on the team. When you don't run it through him, it's not really worth it.
One of the things I think we don't understand enough about basketball, when you look at the numbers like Jokic, I'm a huge Jokic fan. He's the first guy to lead the league this year in rebounds and assists. Mm-hmm. How can he do that? Well, assist average. I think Wilt did that one year maybe, but it was just total assists. Well, it's because he has the ball all the time. And, of course, he does because he's that good. But other players don't have a chance to put up those numbers because they don't have the ball that much. Right. Like in baseball, you have to wait for your turn at bat. Mm-hmm. The team can't go, we want him to bat again. Right. As much as they would have loved to do that with you or Jay, you know? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so some of the numbers, like, man, these James Harden numbers, they're incredible. He has the ball all the time. That cuts both ways, but it doesn't mean he's that much better than anybody. He's earned more opportunities. So the point is, Domas, we talked about this earlier, it's tough for him to put up all league numbers if you're not running the offense through him.
Right. And if you're paying him an all league.
And if people look at the numbers, his assists are way down, he's terrible.
Yeah.
No, they're just not using him the same way. And then maybe he's not worth what you're paying him.
Exactly. And if you look at the different combinations of the three centers that they have now, on paper, especially if you're not running the offense through Domas, on paper, the best combination, or a combination that makes more sense, if you're going to play two of them, is Maxime and Dylan Cardwell, because Dylan Cardwell gives you the defense. Mm-hmm. You can't. Dylan and Domas don't work because there's no outside shooting.
Yeah. Dylan just right now fouls too much still.
Yeah.
He fouls a lot, so.
Well, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know. I don't disagree with you. You're
Mr. Defense.
Yeah.
So now all of a sudden you don't care about defense.
Oh, defense.
What's going on? Hello, why did he leave?
Alan, how can you play defense if you're sitting on the bench? I'm sorry, I fouled out.
Yeah.
Huh? How does that help you defensively?
No, he blocked Zion. Don't forget.
Those were tremendous plays.
They were. Yeah. And I want more of it. You're the one that's saying we don't care.
All right. When we come back, we'll take a look at the accidental ABS challenge and how that is, it's become a thing. We'll wrap things up. Sactown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sactown Sports and the Sactown Sports app.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So, then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com. Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Hi, Flo here from Progressive. You know, life changes quickly, so it's good to have flexible coverage.
Oh, you mean like adding another vehicle?
Yes, that's something we can do.
Great, because I was thinking about getting a van so we could just keep the kids' softball stuff in the car.
Oh, we don't need to get into specifics. Just saying it's easy to change.
Oh, and Hannah wants to try the tuba.
Again, we don't need the specifics.
Last year, she wanted to be a tap dancer, but that only lasted 2 lessons.
Okay.
But she kept the shoes because they are adorable.
Well, just know that with Progressive, you can easily add another car to your auto insurance because we know life changes.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
I need a little range, step to the range.
There's a new flavor in town, the Jalapeno Ranch Club at Chick-fil-A. With that juicy Chick-fil-A original spicy or grilled chicken, a buttermilk ranch bun, candied bacon, pepper jack cheese, and jalapeno ranch sauce. It's got big ranch vibes with a little heat. Chick-fil-A's new Jalapeno Ranch Club, available for a limited time only. Order ahead on the Chick-fil-A app.
You bought an RV, and you got an automatic discount from Progressive by bundling it with your home or auto insurance. That's great, but a serious word of warning every RVer should heed. You don't need to talk about things like dry weight or dump stations. And you don't need one of those expensive water filter straws either, because the most extreme thing most RVers encounter is a campsite without hookups. So just enjoy yourself and Progressive's automatic discount when you bundle your RV, boat, or motorcycle with your home or auto insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
I like music. I like all kinds of music. I'd be okay if we didn't play any more Coldplay, but I like all kinds of music.
Why?
I think this is the first time we've played any Coldplay.
What's the problem with Coldplay? Is it?
What's the problem with a Nerf ball?
Because it's the concert thing?
No. Nothing about that.
Okay.
Just,
not a big fan.
What was it Doug Christie was saying last week? When he was mad at Draymond, and Draymond ended up accusing him of tanking.
Soft?
There you go.
Oh, okay. Well, it's not for everybody.
Yeah, but it's wonderful, and they're hugely successful. They played the Super Bowl when it was out here.
That's
it was
right.
the weirdest group ever because it was Bruno Mars and Beyonce and Coldplay. Remember that? What was that supposed to be?
I don't know. And then, the Bruno Mars one, he gets down. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like
he's got the number one song in the country, doesn't he?
Probably.
Mm-hmm.
But he's got
I Just Might, I think it's called.
He's got his recipe. That's the thing about artists. I know Jay, he talks to a lot of different artists and all the different content creation that he does, but it's interesting when it comes to the idea of, hey, I got my recipe. Do I just go back to the golden goose? Like Shabuzi has released the same song 7 different
Alan,
times.
there are only 7 songs, period.
But they're all different versions of the same
Exactly.
thing.
Yeah, but there are only 7 at all.
Yeah.
You're talking about anything. There's 7 of them. That's it, period.
What do you mean?
There are 7 songs, and
every song fits into a
every song is a
category?
variation of one of the 7 or 8 songs that exist. Period.
I can buy that.
Uh-huh.
There's only so many keys on a piano.
That's it. You can always put in a different key or whatever, but yeah.
It's like the slam dunk competition.
There's only so many dunks you can do.
There's only so many.
Yeah. And you can have your teammate, and he's going to stand there, and he's going to wear a goofy hat. But it's like, that's still the same dunk, bro.
Yeah, right. Oh, he pumped up the crowd. He danced after the dunk.
Right,
But
right.
it's the same dunk.
He had a blindfold on. Yeah.
Well, that would be different.
I disagree a little bit on the dunk situation. I agree kind of with the music, but the dunk competition. Have you ever sat down and watched like some of these dunkers on YouTube and stuff like that?
I haven't.
And you were talking about Shaq with the dunk league, like no one's paying attention to that.
Yeah.
But there's some creative dunks out there that
that's good. That's
for the
encouraging.
most part, NBA players would not do because they're worth too much.
Right.
That's a lot of the conversation. Is we've got a $5 million policy on that young rookie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're not gonna allow him to go out
right.
there and do a cartwheel.
Maybe I need to get on YouTube and see some of these.
Yeah, some of those dunks are extreme, Whitey.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe there's a cap on the NBA dunk contest versus dunks in general.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. That's what it is.
These dudes are worth more.
Mm-hmm.
You got guys that's, and I've seen certain shows, they go around the world. They got some of the best dunkers in the world, and they're doing stuff, like, man, they'll kill the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But they're also not worth what NBA players are worth to these teams, to the organizations.
Should those people be in the dunk contest? I don't think so. The NBA dunk contest?
No, because they're not in the NBA.
Yeah, like the Mac McClung thing. How'd you feel about him being in the dunk contest?
I mean, it was cool for a one-off. Okay, even if you want to let him come back and do a two-off, it's like, all right, now that thing's getting old.
Yeah.
First of all, he's barely cracking the league.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The NBA dunk contest has to be the best dunkers in the NBA.
Well, it's not going to be that anymore because they're scared.
Yeah.
And just like you called Coldplay soft. That's the problem. They make too much money now, guys.
They do.
They just don't have to do it.
Well, then we have to put more money on the line for the dunk contest.
It is not enough.
Yeah.
These
$1
guys are making
billion.
money. Yeah, there's just not enough. Get DraftKings or somebody to sponsor it. They got the cash.
What's enough to you guys? What do you think makes it enough? 5 million, 10 million?
But that's the thing, though. Because we're talking, Jay, we're talking about getting real established players to do it.
It's double-edged because it's like, we'll give you this much to win the dunk contest. Yeah, but I could get hurt, which means it's going to cost me this much. So, that's part of it, too.
10 more million on the insurance policy.
Yeah.
I think it probably, to get vets to really be into it, I think you got to go 20.
Plus, and I think you talked about this earlier, if I am in this high-stakes dunk contest and I embarrass myself, I've done irreparable damage to my reputation, which cost me money.
And back in the day, hey, I know they still got tape, but it wasn't on a loop like now. Like it's not going away if you embarrass yourself.
But see, the one caveat I would say, if you throw it in there, is for a long time after the initial classical dunk contest, the Bernard Kings, the Dominiques, the MJs.
Harold Miner?
No, see, I think when you get into the Harold Miner era, those players were first, second / third year guys.
Yeah.
So they weren't mega superstars. They were, you know what I mean? So the Jay Riches of the world, the Nate Robinsons, they were still young in their NBA career. You catch them before they become mega star. I mean, Kobe's, the Ray Allens, they did all this stuff early in their career. Vince, 3 years into it, right? So I think you got to catch them first, second, third, fourth year. But after that, good luck, because that's after the rookie deal.
Yeah. No dunk contest was any better than Aaron Gordon and Zach LaVine.
Yeah, that's crazy.
No, yeah, that was insane. I would say to that point, Jay, I think you're right as far as you have to get them before that extension, because the number one player probably on the list going into next season, not that he would do it, but yeah, it's not about the vets anymore. Hey, we got $10 million on the line. We know that doesn't mean anything to LeBron or whoever, but it's Cooper Flagg. Cooper Flagg. We can get Cooper Flagg in the dunk contest. We're cooking. Mm-hmm. You got 10, 20 million on the line. You're 2 years away from your extension. You can get this paper right now.
What did Cooper Flagg make as the number one pick last year? 10 million? 11, 15 million? Something up in there?
That sounds
something, right?
Correct.
Yeah, because Keegan, I remember, fourth pick, second and third year is making 7 and 7.9 then 9. So what did Cooper make?
Cooper is making essentially $14 million a year.
10 to 15. So 15.
13 this year, 14, 15.
Right.
That's just his league salary.
That's his rookie deal.
Yeah, 4 years, $62 million.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm saying if you catch I don't know who's coming in, fellas. Nate Mint, because I know you love him, Alan.
Alan would give him $10 million.
Just
right
come
now,
to his house. Just be here. Just do
come sit down with me.
Yeah.
What's Zach LaVine saying? Me, my representative, watch playoff basketball.
but to be fair, Cooper, they're club options. So $28 million, not to say only, but only $28 million is guaranteed. So you could essentially, Coop, you could dang near double what you just made in one night.
For sure.
And, I know what they were talking about the Liam McNeely, who's been in the G League most of the time. People say, he should have stayed. He made $14 million. Now, we're not talking about Liam McNeely, but if you put 10 to 20 on the line for guys that are a couple years away from those, some might not get them. Tejan Salon. Tejan Salon, you might not get it. So you better get on out there.
How much would you pay him? I just saw a movie over the weekend. Sheena wanted to watch it. rental family.
Okay.
Brendan Fraser. It's really good. It's based on something they have in Japan. You pay people to like come over and be your friend. How much would you pay Tijan Salam to just come over?
Man, it was a lot higher before he spent most of the season on the Greensboro Swarm.
Real quick, I mentioned the ABS, the accidental challenge. Did you see last week, Shohei, there was a challenge on the first pitch of the game. What happened was he threw the first pitch. It's a ball. He goes to his cap just to adjust his cap. Will Smith sees that and goes, oh, challenge. Because he thought, yeah, and players are doing that. There's a player on the Pirates. He threw a ball. It's called a ball. He adjusts his cap. The umpire thinks he wants to challenge. He didn't want to challenge, but he won the challenge. It was a strike.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you can just keep going if you get them right.
Yeah.
It's if you don't get them right, you run out.
But some guys just kind of do that. And if you do that now, all right, challenge. No, I didn't want to challenge. Well, too late.
And you got to do it so quick that the umps don't want to miss it. You know, they're getting there. It's not perfect, though.
Someday you just get rid of the umpires. They almost serve no purpose.
Besides humiliation.
Yeah, exactly.
And the people want that.
Thank you, Alan. Thanks for blessing us with some of your voices today.
You know, it's great to be here. I'll be back next week.
Okay. Thank you, Jay. Stick around. We're back with you tomorrow. We've got some more outstanding sports talk coming up. Westwood One Sports Talk next on Sactown Sports.